Tafanum, along with my co-host Niranjana Rashmi, are going to. I'm Aisha Tafanum, along with my co-host Niranjana Rashmi. Welcome you all to this year's Career and Leadership Aid program, already popular as CLAP 2022. This flagship venture is an intensive virtual program proposed by the IEEE Region 10 Young Professionals, which aims to help prepare students and graduate student members to achieve their future career goals and consequently promote IEEE students to young professional membership transitions. In this arrangement of 2 days, a range of activities are designed to provide you all with a broad overview of global career opportunities. We have gathered some extensively knowledgeable and experienced experts from academia and industry as our esteemed panelists, coaches, and speakers. So, without any further ado, let's get started with today's program.
So, hey everyone, welcome you all to the very first day of CLAP 2022, which we named as the Industry Day. So, I'm Niranjana Rashmi and I will be one of your MCs for today's event. To formally inaugurate the most anticipated CLAP 2022, I have the privilege of presenting Dr. Savitya Sivakumar, the Chair of IEEE Region 10 Young Professionals, and Mr. Manodya Nabadevava, the Chair of CLAP 2022, for the welcome and opening remarks. First of all, I would like to invite Dr. Savitya Sivakumar, the Chair of IEEE Region 10 Young Professionals, to take the floor. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Maisha and Niranjana. A warm welcome, everyone, to IEEE Career Leadership Aid Program 2022. As Region 10 Young Professionals, we initiated CLAP last year. Our objective is to help our students in the Asia Pacific regions to mold their career, to give them an international platform to help to learn from each other and grow. And here we are today in our second edition of CLAP under the Region 10 Young Professionals banner. And our team has created an extensive program over 2 days, focusing on academia, industry, career development, and of course, exciting panel discussions, training sessions for how to face an interview, how to write a good resume, and of course, exciting quizzes and prizes to grab, and an international platform for you all to network and learn from each other. So I hope that all of you get the best of this opportunity. It's not that all who registered got the opportunity to join CLAP. Out of many submissions, we shortlisted 440 delegates, and we have around 20 speakers joining across the world today and tomorrow, just for you all, to help you all to mold your career. As you all know, that IEEE is the largest organization, professional organization for electrical and electronic engineers. And of course, for its members, IEEE acts as a professional home to help mold their career as they grow. So CLAP is such an example that we bring for our student community to help develop your career in the Asia Pacific region. And I hope you all get the best out of our program. And I wish you all the very best. And with this, I officially inaugurate the CLAP 2022 and introduce our coordinator, Manodya Nabadevava. And over to you, Manodya, to present our program for today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Savit. I'm very glad that you spelled my name correctly. So hello, guys, and warm welcome to Career Leadership Aid Program brought to you by the IEEE Region 10 or Asia Pacific Region Young Professionals. Okay, let me take you through what we are going to do in these 2 days. And I know that you are enjoying yourself and enjoying with your new friends, and you are building a strong network. Okay, let me share my screen. All right, I hope this is visible to everyone. All right, Dr. Savi, I hope this is visible.
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Hussein. And okay, IEEE Region 10 Career Leadership program. Welcome, delegates. Well, what is CLAP? Actually, CLAP, we joyfully extend the warmest welcome to you, like you have been joining with us today for this virtual boot camp brought to you by the IEEE Young Professionals. So this CLAP 2022, we have dedicated our efforts to bringing you this wonderful experience, and we hope that everyone will participate enthusiastically onto all the sessions and multiply the impact of our sessions that you can make by engaging actively. So you will gain a lot of experience, and we are so much happy to share all the experience and be the bridge between the speakers and you as the delegates. So it's a great pleasure to us as well. And moving on, where you all are from? Well, we have shortlisted, as Dr. Savitha mentioned, 440 plus delegates from 40 plus sections in IEEE Region 10. So we have delegates from different countries like Sri Lanka, India, Malaysia, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Singapore, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, and China. So I think this is a great opportunity for each and every one of you. As Dr. Savi mentioned, international platform. Well, you might be taking part in so many activities organized by your sections or your country, but this is a great opportunity to make new friends from different sections, from different countries, and this is a great opportunity to network, build a strong network within the region. I hope that you guys are already working on that as well. Moving on, considering about the speakers, I think you are already aware of all the speakers for day 1 and day 2, the industry day and the academia day. We have very experienced, distinguished panelists for you. I hope that you will get the best out of these sessions. And moving on with the timeline, event timeline. So here we are in the day 1. Well, we are in the welcome and opening remarks, which will be done by already doing by Dr. Savitha and myself. And then we have a very interesting session on resume building by Ms. Michelle Rose. And then we have a session on interview training, elevator pitch, and personal branding, which will be done by Dr. A.S. Abdul Rashid. And then we will have the session on entrepreneurship by Jang Wong. And then we will have a small break, and then we will be moving on to the panel discussion on opportunities and skills needed in industry. We are a very experienced panel available, Dr. Jessica, Alexander, Hosam, and Emmy, and our moderator will be Dhammika Marasinghe. So then we will have the session on leadership training, which will be carried out by Almia, Ashan, Asif. And then to close the things for the day, we will have team building and networking session for you all. In the day 2, or the academia day, tomorrow, we will have again, there'll be a general opening remarks, which will be done by Hussein and Jacob, our co-chair, and the session on effective research strategies, that will be done by Dr. Samit Bakshi. And then we will have a session on skills to pursue a career in academia, that will be carried out by Dr. Sasha Niklik. And then we will have a small break, and then the panel discussion on opportunities in academia with Professor Vincent Lee, Professor Angika Halvatura, and Dr. Panchamibi, and our moderator will be Dr. Aishwarya Bandla. So then we will have the Aligning Your Career with IEEE session, which will be carried out by the David Coyler, our Vice President for Membership in IEEE. So then I think you guys are working on with this CLAP challenge video. I believe that you have already submitted the CLAP challenge video. So we will be revealing those CLAP challenge videos, the top 5 videos in there, and then we will announce the winners at the award ceremony, and we will have that closing ceremony. So that will be the end of CLAP after the day 2. So I believe that you will enjoy these 2 days. I believe, like after the onboarding session that we had in the previous week, we saw that you are very active in all those WhatsApp groups, and you guys are taking meetings and doing those work, tasks, challenges wonderfully. And I believe these 2 days will be another wonderful and insightful and informative sessions for you. And moving on, actually, yeah, the Q&A platform. We will have the Slido as our Q&A platform. Due to time constraints, there'll be no Q&A sessions that we are not allowing you to ask questions in the session, but do familiarize yourself with the Slido. It is a very, very interactive platform. Well, at the beginning of each session, you will receive a link to fill the questions arise. Later, we will direct the questions to the relevant speakers to get them answered. So club challenge, there are three challenge activities in the club challenge. I believe that you have already completed the activity 1 and the activity 2, and activity 3, it is still a mystery. So join both days of the event to compete with each other. And there's a hint: listen to all the session to successfully complete that activity 3. So that is about club challenge. And this is our organizing committee. And the advisory committee, we have our art and director, Deepak sir, and we have Professor Preeti Bajaj, art and vice chair of membership activities. In the steering committee, we have our very own Dr. Savitya and our Mohammed Hussein and myself as the club chair, and my friend Jacob as our club co-chair. And representing art and SAC, we have Prof. Jennifer and Ms. Varunika. And organizing committee, Said, Kate, Hamimul, Alan, Maisha, Timet, Min, Jubair, Ain, Hishan, Anup, Alina, Niranjana, Sinet, Abdul, Mitushan, Hisham, and Milja. So these are the people who make this event a wonderful one. All the hard work that they have carried out, like I think that every delegate who are taking part in this sessions, like they owe these people something, because these people work so hard to make this event a success. So that is our organizing committee. And we are, we are organizing this thing in conjunction with the IEEE Day 2022. So we all know that each and every year that IEEE members from IEEE sections, student branches, affinity groups, and society chapters join hands to celebrate the IEEE Day. Well, events happen both virtually and in person. Well, IEEE Day celebrates the first time in the history when engineers in worldwide gathered to share their technical ideas way back in 1884. So that's it about CLAP, and I warmly welcome each and every one of you again to IEEE Region 10 Young Professionals presents Career Leadership Aid Program. So thank you guys. Hope you guys enjoy these sessions, and don't forget to make a new friend. All right. Thanks again, and over to you, Maisha and Niranjana, to move on with the proceedings.
Thank you so much, Dr. Savitya Sivakumar and Manodya, for your wonderful opening. Dear friends, we know how a resume acts as a bridge between you and prospective recruiter. Hence, the importance of a resume can never be underestimated. To talk more on this subject, we now have our session on resume building by none other than Ms. Michelle Rose. Michelle Rose has been a strategic job search strategist and career coach over a decade. She is a hardworking mompreneur who is passionate about helping others reach their goals, find the job of their dreams, and never leave their job application in the hands of a recruiter. She has been instrumental in training Fortune 50 businesses on how to attract top talent to their organizations. She specializes in teaching and coaching job seekers one-on-one and through on-demand courses to find jobs strategically. Without any further delay, let's welcome her for our today's session.
Thank you so much, Maisha. I want to go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and start my slide here so that you guys can see everything. Just want to make sure, can you guys see my presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much for having me for the IEEE event today. I am honored and excited. I've been a job search strategist for quite some time, and one of the things that I really love to do is to show people how quickly and efficiently people can find jobs. I have a background in recruitment, and I think blending those two things together have really been able to show college students, graduates, professionals, exactly what they need to do. And there are three very simple things that make an individual successful in their job search. And we're going to get into this in the next section, which is the personal branding, right? But your personal brand is essentially two things: your resume, your LinkedIn profile, and your digital platform. If you don't get this piece right, it just kind of makes it a little bit more difficult to find a job. The next thing is having a job search strategy, and then really having an impactful interview and asking the right questions. So with IEEE putting out this event, it is fantastic because you guys are going to kind of unpack all of that. Today, I'm simply just going to focus on the resume portion, but we're going to talk about how your personal brand and your goals lead into building that perfect resume. Please do take some screenshots. Please enter any questions you do have into Slido as we go, and let's get started. So the first thing that I want you to think about is, what is it that you specifically want to do? It sounds like an obvious question, but sometimes people create a resume that's just way too generic and broad. And what I want you to start to think about is, how can you niche yourself down? What is your unique selling proposition? What is it that you specifically want to be known for? And the more that you're able to niche it down in the industry specifically that you want to work in, your keywords are impacted on how you create your personal brand and how you write your resume. So I always say, dreamers, write down those top 5 companies you'd like to work for. Let's look at the keywords. Let's look at the people they're hiring and what they are embedding in their marketing strategy, as well as the personal brand. And then also just looking at what technical skills or certifications are needed for further consideration for opportunities now, and the ones you're maybe leaping and looking for in 2 to 3 years. So you're constantly working on your brand. So again, what does your personal brand to mean to you, and why is it important? And I know we're going to go over that later, but I want you to just start thinking about it as it goes on with your resume. Because your resume, just like your personal brand, it's going to highlight your strengths. It allows you to establish your reputation in the community and even internationally, build trust, and communicate why you are the best person based on your dominant beliefs of why you believe what you believe and how you're going to market yourself. So start by figuring out who you are, what you want to be known for, define your audience. So going back to those organizations that would be hiring you, and look and do research on positions, the requirements of that, and the keywords and technologies, because that's going to be a big hint on what you need to improve and put in your resume. Okay. Another thing that I want to recommend is for your personal branding, and we will get into this with embedding into your resumes and the different types to use, is you can use a personal website, a portfolio, a video, a QR code. The other day, I got an actual 3D, I wish I would have brought it out, a 3D resume. Somebody used a 3D printer, put a QR code on it. It was a sample of his design work as an engineer. And also included on that was a QR code taking me directly to his resume. These are the things that you can do that can make you take people that are going to consider you for a job on a journey. And the way to do that is to be building that brand and incorporating it into your resume. So the first type of resume I want to get into is what we call an ATS-friendly resume. ATS stands for Applicant Tracking System. And what that is anytime you apply online for a job, generally speaking, it's in some type of applicant tracking system. So there's been tons of tests that have been done. And the top things that you need to focus on is that ATS systems cannot really read graphics in text boxes, and they cannot read if you insert stuff in headers and footers. And a lot of times, to make things look pretty, we use text boxes or tables. So really what you need to focus on is the keywords that you're embedding into your resume. Because just like on Google and just like on LinkedIn, when you're embedding your resume, some recruiters decide, oh, I'm going to look at the first 25 applicants, and some applicant tracking systems say these are the top ranked people that when we side by side match the keywords in your resume to the keywords in your job description, and here's who we would recommend for you to look at first. So each organization has a different technique. So the best thing you can do is just make sure you have a really good keyword rich resume that is relevant to what you do. The next type of resume, which I think is a little bit more exciting for everyone, is an infographic CV. They're beautiful. I actually really recommend that you embed a QR code that takes a decision maker or a gatekeeper, like a recruiter, to take them to your LinkedIn profile a little bit of a different way, or to a video, or to a portfolio of the work that you do. These are generally in PDFs. They're very visual. And if you're embedding these online for applications, they're not getting read. So basically, if you applied online for a job and you just gave them a blank piece of paper, that's what you're doing if you submit this online. So you might be wondering, well, when do I use an infographic CV? And that's when you're messaging directly with key decision makers or directly with a recruiter and not through an applicant tracking system. If you are going to a hiring fair, then that would be another opportunity of taking this with you. And if you have an amazing longer form resume that's maybe a page or two for your projects that you've been working on, then you could always give them a QR code that takes them to the longer version of your resume as well. Okay, so in an ATS friendly resume, the CV should be very achievement focused, keyword rich, aesthetically pleasing, so easy to read, font, not too many bolding. Generally, a resume is going to be read for about 6 to 10 seconds. So you want it to be very quick and to the point and show your technologies and be very, very easy to read, and include what we call a personal value proposition statement. Get your cameras ready. So here's a little sample of what a PVP would be. Hi, my name's Michelle. I am a marketing student with an interest in X and X. My strengths include X and Y and Z, and I've achieved this and this. I'm interested in XYZ. So this is kind of what you want to include. So in old resumes, we would have put this as where the objective used to be. This is kind of like right under your name. It's just introducing who you are, your unique value proposition, and what you want to be known for. So here's another example. If you just want to take a photo, I'm a senior at the U of M, majoring in marketing and a minor in psychology. Obviously, this isn't engineering related. I could have made it, apologies. But my strengths include Google Analytics, social media, and digital marketing, and what they're interested in. And this allows people to understand very quickly who you are, what you want to be known for, what your strengths are. And they'll either go, okay, I'm going to keep reading and just see if they have the technical skills that you meet the requirements. And then they start to read through the resume. So the whole purpose is just to get the hook to keep them reading. If you're having a hard time with what to include, even though I've kind of given you a little sneak preview, you can use these words to lead with while XYZing, excelling at dimensional, three-dimensional designs, leads with passion and XYZ. So these are the things that you can kind of do if you're having a little bit of a difficult time starting your PVP inside your resume. And you can include your PVP on your ATS friendly and on your infographic. So now when we start talking, and this basically is more on the ATS friendly CVs when you're applying for jobs, is you want to focus on what your hard skills are. And those are going to be things like including your degree, a certification. If you have gone and taken additional classes, LinkedIn has a bunch of certifications. You learn something, you take a test, and they give you a certification. So those are hard skills and things that you want to make sure you're embedding and including on your resume. And then you also want to include your soft skills. So there's a huge leap and a huge focus, as we all know, in emotional intelligence. So these are the other things that I think that sometimes we don't focus on because, we're great at design, but we also have to lead teams and understand the bigger picture. So by making sure that we are also embedding and including some of these things in, that is going to be a core focus of what decision makers are going to be looking for. But when you brand yourself, especially on LinkedIn and other places, you're not marketing your soft skills. You're going to market your hard skills. I don't look for a problem solver, right? If I'm looking for you for a job, I'm looking for somebody with hard skills. So the next thing we want to talk about is how to emphasize your responsibilities and your key accomplishments. So the difference is, this is what I did day to day, and my accomplishments are what made you stand out and kind of what is measurable and quantifiable. So impact, percentage, money, dollars, projects, things that you've worked on, data set sizes, designs. So here's a great thing to take a photo of, and it kind of breaks down what the difference is between a responsibility, a quantified responsibility, an accomplishment, and a quantified accomplishment. And when you always want to be able to do whenever you can is make sure that you add numbers, percentage, impact, and outcome from those things. So when I look at a resume, I always like to see 2 or 3 quantified responsibilities and 2 or 3 literally separated key accomplishments. It helps me understand what you did on a day-to-day and what you're super proud and you want to be known for. And then here's just a few additional examples of what you can include as a quantifying an accomplishment. Developed and implemented an AP history curriculum that resulted in a 4.4 average on AP testing and 93% success rate. So you can see it's quantifying the accomplishments. And this is something when recruiters are skimming through, their eyes lead left, top left to right bottom, and they usually stop when they see some type of number. Okay. And then I want you to think about if you're having a hard time, if you're still a student, or if you're new to the workforce, or you're finishing your graduate degree and you want to kind of pivot to a little bit different of an industry. I want you to think about what you can ask yourself of what you've innovated or created, or a process or a workflow, even if it's something you designed that you haven't put in place yet.
Ma'am, you are on mute.
Oh no, I think I got disconnected. Did you guys see the
Yes.
action verb sheet? Can you guys see the action verb sheet still?
No, I think you need to reshare again. There were some technical glitches.
Apologies, guys. Give me 1 second. So we're going to play from current slide. All right. Can you guys see now?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So I just want to make sure I didn't cut out. The last thing you guys saw was the questions to ask yourself. Was this the last thing you guys were able to see?
No, I think you haven't covered that part.
Okay, so we were going over quantifying accomplishments.
Yeah, this one is done.
Okay, perfect. So the things that if you are struggling to quantify your accomplishments, or maybe you're you finish your graduate degree and you don't have experience and you're pivoting to a different industry, one of the things that you can really focus on is thinking about maybe joining a Fiverr and Upwork and offering a project at a little bit of a cheaper rate, to use that as a sample to then include some of these innovations or workflows or things that you've worked on and embed them into your resume. So I'd like you to ask yourself, what you're most proud of, or what creatively could you do to get some experience to start embedding more information on your resume. So here's some questions you can kind of ask yourself to include. And then finally, anytime you are creating bullets on your resume, you always want to start your bullet with an action verb. So here's a nice little sneak shot or snapshot of like different words you can use based on if you're teaching or organizing or designing or you're super creative. And this is something because you don't want to have the repetition of the same words. And then also just keeping past and present tense in mind. So you are currently in present tense, so it would be administering. And then if you've done it in the past in a previous role, it would be administered. or administrated or attained. So you just want to make sure you're using the proper past and present tense in your resumes, which is a common mistake that we do see. And then again, that infographic resume is going to be something that's just a snapshot of your skills. It's a great marketing document for you to have moving forward. There are a few places that you can get reasonably priced infographic resumes, and that is through Fiverr. And the other one I see a lot of individuals use is through Canva. So I always like to give you tools that you can leave with to make sure that you're very confident in marketing yourself. And the other thing is, if you don't have a lot of experience and you are more skill-led and you're looking to obviously get into the workforce, and this is your first time looking, you can use what's called a functional resume, which focuses more on your skills, your projects, and what you learned. And then if you do have volunteer experience or you do have a bit of work experience, you put it at the bottom instead of leading with it. And you really focus on your skills and make it simple and easy to read. You guys, it's been a pleasure and honor to talk to you guys today. I hope you got a lot out of the different type of resumes you can use, when to market yourself. And always just remember that you can use a cover letter still. And what that allows you to do is reduce assumptions a hiring manager or recruiter is going to make. Write the story for them. Don't say, if you get my CV, if you know if something's a fit, let me know. Say, if you're looking for somebody with X, Y, Z, I'm your person. Let's talk. That's totally different. Let them imagine and see what your skills are and what you can bring to the table based on your terms of what you're looking for. It's been a pleasure and an honor. And thank you guys so much again. And I look forward to answering any questions that you guys have that you enter through Slido at a later date. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Michelle Rose, madam, for the wonderful session.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, we are really proud to have you today. And once again, thank you so much for joining us today, dedicating your valuable and precious time. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a big virtual round of applause for Ms. Michelle Rose. Once Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, said that your brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. I think you know that what our next session will be. But it will not be only personal branding, but much more. So next we have an interesting session and valuable session on internet training, elevator pitch, and personal branding. For the session, we have a special person today, and he is none other than Dr. A.S. Abdurrashid. Dr. A.S. Abdurrashid, who is currently a speech and presentation coach, a digital content creator, and instructor teaching in Skillshare and Udemy. He is the founder of Epic Mentorship and a member of Toastmasters International since 2019. Dr. A.S. Abdurrashid is a lecturer at the Department of Civil Engineering of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaire, Nigeria, with a PhD in Civil Engineering from University Technology, Petronas, Malaysia. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with a virtual round of applause Dr. Abdurrashid to take the floor and share his knowledge. Over to you, sir.
Right, can I confirm if you are seeing my slides? We just maybe a reaction?
Yes, sir, we can see.
All right. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, wherever you are. I'm Dr. Rashid. You've heard a lot about me, and I'm very, very happy to be here. Who is happy to be here with me? Yes, any reaction is good. Okay. Thank you so much to the organizers of this event for the invitation. And I am extremely super happy to connect with all of you guys. And I hope we will learn something together today. So I'll be talking to you about interview sessions, interview trainings, elevator pitch, personal branding, which is the most important, which is what we are going to spend most of our time doing, is personal branding. Why do you need to personal brand? But I have some thought-provoking questions to share with you guys. I hope you will pay attention. So I'll talk to you about personal branding, interview tips, and then I'll give you the pitching ideas, depending on how much time we've got. Okay? So let's start with, why do we need to personal brand? Why do you need to brand yourself? I'm sure you've heard a lot about personal branding from Dr. Michelle just a few minutes ago. But then I would share with you some thought-provoking questions. Pay attention to the screen, my friends. When was the last time you Googled your name? If I'm to ask you this question, when was the last time you put your name, Dr. A.S. Abdurrashid, on Google? What did you find? Did you know that? Did you know that people are Googling about you? Whether your friends, whether your employers, whether your future employers, whether your teachers, whether some people randomly, they Google about things that has to do with you. Did you know this? Okay, so information they have online, information they find online, whether you like it or not, is what they will use to assess your credibility, your knowledge, and your experience. Okay? People are Googling about you, and whatever they have on the online space is exactly what they are going to use to judge. So it's high time you understand this and you put the right image of who you are online. So when they want to find out about who you are, they will find the right information. So what do we say here? Brand yourself before others brand you. Brand yourself before others brand you. Now let's take a look at this, because I know a lot of you are still having a doubt. Maybe some of you are not so clear about what personal branding is. I'll tell you this evening. So personal branding is just a big word, but it simply means self-positioning, okay? Self-packaging, elevating your credibility and differentiating yourself from others. How are you different from others? That's just what it means, okay? And how are you to package yourself? You know, it's all about packaging. Who the hell are you? Package yourself and put it out so that those people searching, they will search the exact information you want them to see. So what I'm saying is, find your uniqueness, building a reputation on the things you want to be known for. Yes, you have gone to the university. Yes, you have studied medicine or you've studied electrical engineering, but what do you want to be known for? This is what I'm talking about when I say, what makes you special? What's your magic? What's your calling? What is that one thing that only you can do? And you have to put it out, package it, and submit it. That is branding. So what problem do you solve? That is the biggest, in a bigger show, okay? What problem do you solve? That is who you are, okay? The fact that you find yourselves in the same classroom doesn't make you equal. You are created special. So this leads us to who you are actually is what people say behind you when you are out of the classroom or when you're out of the room. What do people say about you? That is your personal brand. Are you following? Please, with the reaction, I want to know if you guys are following. Any reaction? All right. Yes. Thank you. So let's continue. So you need to understand, what is your purpose in life? You are created differently. No version of you exists anywhere in the world. You are a limited version. You are only yourself. It's only you, no one else. So what is your purpose in life? Did you know that? If you don't know, understand these very simple steps and I'll help you to find out who you are. So why do you get up in the morning to do what you do? Just this is a very challenging question as well. Be very specific. Yeah, I get up in the morning to go to school. I get up in the morning to do my assignments. I get up in the morning to do this. Why do you do it? Why are you doing it? What's the purpose behind it? So understanding this can get you somewhere. But let's look at yourself as a product. Try to look at yourself as a very simple product. You could be Coca-Cola. You could choose to be an Apple laptop, and you could choose to be a MacD. These are brands, okay? These are products, but they are powerful. What makes them powerful? These are the qualities, the characteristics that defines these very products. They are powerful, they are authentic, they are consistent, they are visible, and they are valuable. So these same qualities apply to human, okay? It applies to personal brands, okay? So ask yourself this question: are you powerful? Yes, you got a lot of achievement, but are they visible? You get the first class, you got this conference, you got this award, you went on and put everything inside your box. Who knows it? So are you visible? Are you authentic? Are you truthful? If someone searches about you, is he going to find the right information about you? Are you consistent? Whatever you do, be consistent. Okay? Put yourself out and be consistent in putting content. Are you valuable? What problem do you solve? And are you consistent in solving that problem? Are you impactful? Okay, so look at these brands. You know yourself. By mere looking at the picture, you know these brands exist and they are powerful. What makes them powerful? These are the attributes. Do you have these attributes? Because this same thing applies to humans. Let's take a look at a very interesting fact that Mark Twain said. The two most important days of your life are the days you were born and the days and the day you will find out why were you born. Why were you born? That means you are very special person. So find out what makes you unique. So ask yourself these thought-provoking questions as well. What makes you special? What are your greatest strengths? What differentiates you from others? Ask yourself, what do you want to be known for? What do you want others to think about when they hear Dr. Rashid? When they hear your name, what do you want them to think? And then ask yourself, how does this my uniqueness translate to value? How does being unique in the society translate to solving a problem, translate to monetizing a problem, okay? So what do people come to you for? Generally, you can see even in your classroom, people approach you because you know you have mathematical skills, you have communication skills, you have some aptitude when it comes to writing. People approach you whenever they want to write love letters to their girlfriends, whenever they want to have an MC, someone to perform on stage, they come to you. So harness those powers, understand that these are the values you have. These are what you have to offer to your people, okay? So understanding your uniqueness can give you an edge in building your brand. So let's go, let me help you to find out exactly your purpose-driven career. Are you following and are you ready to learn this? With a reaction, please. I hope you are following. Any reaction? Any reaction? Yes. Good. Let's go. Now, let's understand this, guys. This is a very simple chart. Try to understand it. We have what you do best. Understand this is very important and very crucial. This is what you do best. This is who you are, okay? And this is what others in the same space do best. Others in the same space with you do best. Now, this is what your target wants. This is what your target market wants. Okay, understand the lines and look at how they intersect. Now, there are three different quadrants that I want you to understand very clearly. The first one is called the losing zone. Losing zone is where others can do better than you. If you understand that this place, I have no aptitude in it, don't even go there. It's a losing zone. You are just going to waste your time. Don't go there. Move away. The second zone is called the dump zone. This is the zone that you know this is a space where no one cares. You know something and others in the space know something, but no one is looking for it. Okay, the market is not there. So don't even waste your time there. The next space is called the risky zone. This risky zone is competitive because you have others who have known what you are trying to sell or what you are trying to showcase. But then it's risky. You can win if you have a lot of talent and you've got a lot of skills with you. But the most important step, the most important zone or the winning zone is where you can win. You have a clear difference, where your clear difference, only you have the capacity to go on and deal with your target audience, okay? You have the skills and only you have the aptitude. If you understand this step, if you understand who you are at this step, winning zone 4, this is number 4, you will have very ease of navigation to your success. Very easy, you will understand your brand, you will understand your purpose in life, and you go straight to short circuit it to just go to your audience and give them your product. So why the need for personal branding? Why do people personal brand? In today's economy and job market, knowledge is not enough. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very sorry to say that it's not enough for you to graduate from chemical engineering or civil engineering or electrical engineering or to be a member of IEEE. Knowledge alone, your first class alone, your course of study alone, or how much you know is not enough. The 21st century, a lot has changed, okay? The world has turned 360 degrees. It's now more about skills, communication skills, personal branding skills, personal networking skills. You know, you have to get yourself to understand the soft skills that can connect you, or problem-solving skills that can easily get you connected with your employers, because that is what people are looking for in the industry. They are not looking out for your certificate. You can have the certificate, but you don't know anything. You have the certificate, but you don't have the skills. So you have to have the skills, and they have to be soft skills. Okay? So regardless of, you can do well in school, but try to have that skills to balance out. So when you are being asked, you can showcase yourself as someone with difference within the applicants. So what we are saying is nobody will think about your work until you let them know. Nobody will care whether you receive an award in a conference or you receive a first class in your school until you put that out. That achievement is not for you alone. It's for all the globe, it's for global, everyone to know. Okay, put it out. The right people have to know. If they are searching about you, they should come across that information, because that achievement is not for you alone. So this is very important for you to understand. Why do we need to personal brand? The benefits, let me tell you about the benefits now. If you do personal branding, it helps you establish credibility, you'll be visible, increase your online influence, people will look at you, people will know you, people will follow you from all angles, and you become an authority in what you do. You grow your career and industry recognition. Very easy when you put out yourself, put out your skills, put out your achievements on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on other platforms. Very easy. Employers are there, they are searching. Once they come across someone like you, they'll easily give you a thumbs up and they'll hire you. So personal branding can help you also generate sales. Okay, you can sell a lot of products and services online. Just put out yourself. Okay, it will help you to attract employment opportunities. I've just talked about this. It will help you to expand your professional network. You reach out to people. You don't even know who is looking. When you make a post on LinkedIn, my friends, it is very powerful. It can go as far as it can. The algorithm is just like that. You can go anywhere. Anybody can search and will find you. It doesn't matter whether today, tomorrow, next tomorrow, you will be found. Okay, so know what you are doing and put it out for the right people to find. This personal branding can set you on a path of professional development, personal and professional development. It can challenge you to improve because you know where you are and you know where you are going to be. So it will help you to improve. And then it will help you to collect your thoughts. You will know exactly all the achievements you have. You collect them in one place and you'll be able to push them out to the right people. And it takes steps. Take steps to achieve your goals. If you put out yourself, you will even be receiving feedback from people, from professionals on how to achieve your goals. What are the things you want to do and how they might help you. You might be receiving calls from people to tell you, oh, Rashid, you don't need to do it this way. Do it like this. You don't need to do it this way. I think you want to be somebody like this. You better to do it this way. And then you take their advice. If it is good, you take. If it's not good, you dump it. So personal branding can expose you to all of this. Okay, so let me share with you why people don't do personal branding. This is very flimsy excuse that people give why they don't personal brand. The first is fear of the unknown, fear of what people will say. People will think I'm bragging, that I show myself on the internet, I have a website, I have a YouTube channel, and people will think I'm just bragging. My friend, you have to brag. You have to showcase yourself. Don't be afraid of anybody. Okay, showcase yourself out because you need to expose yourself. You need to sell yourself. Don't worry about what other people say. Trying to be what the world wants. You are trying to follow other people. Maybe your father wants you to be a medical doctor, or maybe your father wants you to do things like that, or maybe your girlfriend don't want you to expose yourself so that other girls can see you or something like that. Well, don't those people. Professionally design your website or resume or your achievements, put it out. Better to remain within your comfort zone. So let me tell you, my friends, if you remain within your comfort zone, if you continue to do what other people are doing, you will continue to get exactly what other people are getting. If you want to get something different, then you have to do something different and you have to move out of your comfort zone. Comfort zone is not for successful people. Disturb yourself, challenge yourself, put yourself out, and you will be amazed by what you will receive. People give other excuses also. They say, I'm too old for this, or I'm too young for this. It's not time for me. I don't have enough knowledge. I don't have the certificates to do this. I'm not up to this. I'm not up to the task. I'm too fat. I'm too ugly. I'm too skinny. You know, these are flimsy excuses people give, and sometimes they say, I don't have money. But these are not excuses. There are things you do without money, and you put it up to yourself. And then sometimes you hear them say, I don't have the time. My friend, 24 hours is too much for you to do personal branding. So it's very, very important to brand yourself before others brand you. So get this into your head. Before others brand you, brand yourself. So if you want to do personal branding, if you want to brand yourself, I've got 3 formulas for you. 3 formulas, the 3 C's formula. The first one is go onto online, go to your Facebook and Instagram, delete any incriminating evidence. Anything you know, politically, you have to be very sensitive. Anything you know that can incriminate you in the future, if someone comes searching about you, he's going to find that information and you feel like you're not comfortable with it, delete it. If you have any issue with someone, delete that post. So you are beginning to prepare yourself for personal branding. That's credibility. The second is consistency. Go out, showcase yourself on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on website, on LinkedIn. Put out yourself and be consistent in delivering value and content. And people will find you very easily. And the last part of the C is clarity. Find a mentor, someone who has been to where you want to be. Someone who has been to where you want to be, and follow him. Very easily, you get to that place. Very, very easily. So these are very simple steps. You can follow these steps and you will see in less than no time, you will find yourself successful. So are you following, guys? Before we go to the next stage, next phase of the session, are we following? Just to confirm, we following with just a reaction? Even if not with a chat, with just a reaction, please. All right, let's go on. Now, this brings us to the next part, which is interview tips. You've heard some from Dr. Michelle. He talked to you about interview tips, and whether you like it or not, as you graduate, you are going to find a job, and you're going to be interviewed, and you're going to talk something, okay? So I'm going to share with you, because of time, we don't have much time, I'm going to share with you my very key strategy that I follow, very simple steps that I follow to prepare myself and to come out very nicely and successful in interviews. So just pay attention. The first thing I do is I understand the 5 laws of P. You can repeat after me, even though I cannot hear you. Please repeat after me. The 5 laws of P. Prior preparation prevents poor performance. Just repeat it in your room, no problem. Prior preparation prevents poor performance. Please say it. Prior preparation prevents poor performance. If you prepare ahead of time, you prepare yourself ahead of time, you do your assignment ahead of time, you will come out successfully. If you do the right things, okay? Do the right things before the interview, you are going to do the right thing. So understand these 5 laws of P and start preparing ahead of time. So what do you need to prepare for the interview? You need to know about the organization, okay? Whichever organization, go in detail, find out, go to their website, go to their social media handles, follow them, try to understand what are they into, what are their mission, what are their vision, when was it established, what are their achievements, okay, successes, failures, what are their challenges. Go as close to them as you can and try to relate what they have with your expertise and experience. Okay, all their challenges, try to look inwards within you. What can you do to solve those kind of problems? When you put yourself, you position yourself as a solution solver, as a problem solver, you will come out successful. During the interview, you will appear much more informed about that company and you talk about it very, very fantastically. It will be as if you are a member of that company or someone within the company give you a heads up about what their challenges are. So getting to know the company or the organization in and out is very important. Do anything you can to get to understand that organization. Be it your friends, you can reach out to people working there or anything. Just get to know that organization as far as you can. The next thing is your job responsibilities. Usually on any adverts, there used to be job description. People used to ignore that. You don't pay attention to it. Please and please, before you apply for that job, understand the responsibilities you are assigned to, and then try to relate it with your experience. Can you do this? And how can you do it? How can you make it even much more better and unique? How can you bring in different perspective to this kind of to this responsibility that you are assigned? So understanding your job responsibility can put you ahead of others, okay? Have a detailed understanding. Then nowadays, I understand that through the interviews, companies don't give direct questions anymore. They give applied questions. They will look at you because with applied question, you will be challenged, you will be tasked to talk about yourself, to talk about your life, to talk about your achievement. They will look at you and tell you, yeah, they know the generic question, tell me about yourself. You already mastered that one. Tell me about what school did you do, or your certificate. Those ones are too generic. When you come to applied question, they will look at you and ask you, tell me a time when you have failed. What did you do? And you have to respond. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to share with you that there's a method in which you have to respond to applied questions. If you follow that method, you'll come out successful and you will optimize your words. You will say the right words at the right time and you nail it exactly. So in applied question, I want to share with you the STAR formula. The STAR formula, the STAR formula. What does it mean? So the STAR is an acronym for situation, task, action, and results. Okay, situation, task, action, and result. The situation, what is that situation? What is the scenario? When I was in the company, when I was in water and gas company, or when I was in this oil and gas company, we were tasked to do this. Okay, so the task comes in. You are given an assignment to do this. And what did you do? Did you do the assignment? Did you fail? Did you succeed? These are actions. Okay, you did the work, and this is how I did the work. And then what is the result? Tremendous benefit. We won the contract. After I did the work, we got the contract. These are your results. The company gained money. The company became recognized. The company won an award. These are results. Let me give you an example. Hey, Rashid, tell me about a time when you missed a deadline. What did you do? Are you following at all? Please, if you are following with a reaction, let me know. Okay, good. So, yeah, good. So, tell me about the time when you have missed a deadline. What did you do? I know you will see this kind of series of questions, similar questions like this. So, the whole idea is to get you to understand how to answer some of them. You can do your further research, but let me give you the tip of the iceberg. So, let me give you an example with myself. Later, I will ask you to give me 2 volunteers to answer the next 2 questions. All right? Yes, 2 volunteers. So let me tell you a situation. I was asked, for example, this question. I missed the deadline, but how do I come out and explain to the interviewers professionally how I missed the interview how I missed the deadline, and it came out to be something strong. So let me tell you, picture this. In 1997, when I was working in oil and gas industry or water and dams construction company, I was tasked to go on the field to carry out a geophysical survey. Okay, so I'm explaining the situation. The situation was when I was in the company, I was asked to go and carry out geophysical survey in the field. So we went with my boss, we carried out the survey. It was on Friday, we came back. I was to prepare the report and bring it out on Monday for the company to submit. So the deadline I was given was Monday for the company to submit the contract, the proposal to the customer so that we can win some contract. Unfortunately for me, when I get home, I was preparing the report. I get to a point, I realized that I missed a data in the field that I was supposed to pick from the field. And there was no way I could go there and pick the data unless it is on Monday, because they only open on Monday. So this is the challenge, okay? This is the task. So what action did I do? What did I do? So I knew that I was going to meet the deadline, so I quickly pick up my phone. I called my boss. I told him the situation. I could go ahead and do the computation, but I will not get the right answer, and we will not get the contract because we will lose our credibility. I told him that the best thing is I'm going to go on Monday to go and take that data and then recompute or compute the real actual data. He now understands my situation, and then he gave me the go ahead and take the data. On Monday, I rushed to the field, I took the data, I came back home, I recomputed everything, I got it done and submitted on Tuesday. Now the result is we got the contract. The result is my boss liked me because he trusts me now because I know what I'm doing. Okay? So this is all it. So let me analyze the scenario for you. Situation, task, action, and result. The situation in the company, I narrated when I was working in the company. The task was we were to collect the data and I was to produce the result, the report by Monday. Okay? So I missed it. So what action did I do? I called my boss. I narrated the situation. He gave me the go-ahead. I went on Mondays. I picked the data. I came back and recomputed everything and submit. What was the results? We got the contract. My boss now trusts me and get the job done. So this is it. Very simple. So let me give you a very simple one. Like, I don't know. You can think about it. Relate it to yourself. Maybe in your school. Maybe in your job. Anything. Relate it to yourself. I need 2 volunteers to answer the next 2 questions for me. Very briefly. The first is, tell me about your time when you had a conflict at work. What did you do? Yeah.
So sorry to interrupt you. We are a bit late. If you could just finish it within a minute because we are already 10 minutes late.
Okay. Okay, son. Okay, so then maybe you can take these questions and maybe answer them on your own. Try to answer them on your own. Maybe try to see how you can present it to your friend, someone around you, to see what are your reactions or to see whether you meet that formula. You have to use that formula, STAR formula, okay? Situation, task, action, and results. So the second question is, describe a time when you resolve an issue with an unhappy customer. So these are 2 interesting, applied, and challenging questions. So please take them and try to practice at home and share them with your friends and then present maybe to your friends. And this brings us to the end of it all. Thank you very much, guys, for listening to me up to this point. And I hope you will learn something tonight or this afternoon or anything, wherever you are. Thank you for listening. Terima kasih, gracias, nagode. And back to you. You control the DMC.
Thank you, Dr. Abdul Rashid, for this informative session. It was indeed very interesting talk, and we are really grateful for your time. On behalf of our committee, please accept our heartfelt thank you, Dr. Abdul Rashid. Let's have a virtual round of applause for him, please. Thank you so much, sir, for your very informative session. So moving on, as we know, there is a positive impact on entrepreneurship education on the young generation like us, in the sense that the youngsters are motivated to become entrepreneurs in their career path so that economic development arises. With this, let's move on to our next session on entrepreneurship by Mr. Jan Wong. Jan founded Open Minds in 2012, a MarTech company to provide strategic solutions, data analysis, technology development consultancy, and training programs in a venture division to assist startups. Open Minds managed to acquire world-class brands and renowned agencies as clients. He worked with different startups, spoke at various entrepreneurship and marketing technology events and workshops. Without wasting any time, let us all hear from the experiences of Mr. Jan Wong and welcome him on our virtual stage. Sir, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the very kind introduction. Super excited to be able to spend the next 15 to 20 minutes with you, really sharing with you my experience. Now, I know we are short on time, so I'll go straight to the point because in today's session, I really just want to take time to share with you three things. Very quickly, number one, my story. Number two, a glimpse of what is entrepreneurship like, because I think this is a huge word right now. Some of you here this evening or this afternoon, no matter where you are, you may be thinking, hey, should I go into entrepreneurship? Should I start something? Should I run a business? Well, that's the second thing I want to share with you. And last but not least, before we wrap up this short sharing session, it's why. Why is this a good time for you to go into entrepreneurship? And I share this 100% from my own personal experience. I hope it will benefit each and every one of you. Once again, my name is Jan, and I started my entrepreneurship journey at the age of 17. Actually, I ventured into 8 businesses ever since then. I even made the Forbes list at the age of 30. Now, my journey started quite some time back, and the first company that I went to was actually in the data recovery business. If you have never heard of this before, basically it's a business where we take out faulty hard disks, restore the data, send it back to our clients, make sure that they have their data back. That's what we do. In fact, this is the first company I've started at the age of 17. And then I also had some experience in e-commerce. I started off an e-commerce brand selling branded t-shirts online with a few business partners. It did pretty all right. It got expanded into the UK and Australia before we decided that it's no longer something that we want to do. I started another company in Perth, Australia, focusing on Facebook app development. Back then, Facebook was a little bit different from the Facebook that we know today. Back then, Facebook requires all of us to run contests and competitions going through a very dedicated Facebook app. Some of you may remember the days where you can play games on Facebook. That was the type of company that I was into. But long story short, because of time, we had to shut down this company overnight. Although we are operating and very profitable in 2 years, but we had to turn it down overnight because Facebook kind of shut us down literally over one sleep. It was pretty crazy. I even went into the fashion business, although if you look at me on screen right now, I may not look like a fashion guy, but I did have a fashion business, and we're in collaboration with Amber Chia and different supermodels within the industry. We wanted to change how online fashion is. And this was the days prior to e-commerce being the e-commerce that we understood today. But as introduced by the host earlier, today I represent a company called Open Minds. We are 10 years old. 10 years old. 10 years old, it's a crazy journey holding on to one company, really focusing and really building this company up. And the interesting part about this company is that, sure, we have offices in different countries, so on and so forth, but we were bootstrapped. This means that in this past 10 years, running this company called Open Minds, we received zero funding externally. The money was actually from our clients. Our clients funded us as we provide services, which is a concept that you probably don't hear about very often these days, which is strange. Because when we read news articles, when we listen to interviews, we always hear about, oh, this company getting $100 million. Oh, that company just raised another fund of $1 billion. It sounds so easy to start a company. It sounds like money is everywhere. I can just raise funds. But did you all know that by raising funds, you are actually just putting yourself in debt? Because investors want a return. They're investing in you for a reason. That $1 million, that $2 million, that $100 million put to you, they expect a return. And they don't expect a 1% return or a 3% return like a fixed deposit. They want like a 10 times, 20 times, 50 times, 100 times even kind of a return. But these are things where companies don't actually see or first-time founders don't realize. After all, isn't starting a company all about making profits? Isn't starting a company about making positive impact? Isn't starting a company really allowing you the opportunity to redefine workplaces? That is entrepreneurship. It's not so much about the glamorous title that people tell you, oh, Jen, you're a serial entrepreneur. Oh, you are an award-winning entrepreneur. And you're here giving talks and sharing engagements. It's not like that at all. Because if entrepreneurship is defined by the lifestyle that you see on television. It's the lifestyle you see on how you are able to become rich and a billionaire like Elon Musk, then I can tell you that entrepreneurship is probably not for you. In this journey, I'm also very privileged, very blessed to be able to receive some of these awards up there. As I mentioned, the Forbes list recognized me. I was a TEDx speaker 3 times, in fact, on 3 different stages throughout these recent years, sharing my experience as well, giving my thoughts regarding the industry, especially in marketing and technology. But that's not what I want to share with you today. I'm not just here to tell you the good part of the story, because under all these so-called successes, I really have a ton of failures. And through this period of time, I also had to make very hard decisions and made very big sacrifices. Some of you may ask, hey, Jen, what kind of sacrifices? How hard can it be? Well, to be honest, if you give me an hour or 2 hours, I can go on and on talking about it. But here are some examples. I actually sacrificed my friends. Now, not in the gruesome, murderous way, okay, where I sacrifice them to some idol, not something like that. When I say I sacrifice my friends, meaning I had to be able to choose which are the people should I hang out with. Should I hang out with the cool, casual, hang out, chill kind of group of friends, or should I hang out with friends that are a bit more focused and serious in their future, that talks about future planning, that wants to look forward beyond their studies, beyond their current career? I had to choose what kind of things that I should be doing during my free time, whether it's in college or in uni. The free time in between classes, I could have just hung out at a restaurant, at a cafe somewhere, have a good cup of coffee, and then just, okay, let me go back to class again. Or, well, I could start a business. I could call up vendors. I could try to make a deal. I could try to create partnerships. The sacrifices amount to the extent where there were times I even have to question my self-worth. Because I remember the days where I was in college, I only went out with my friends 3 times. 2 times for lunch, once for a movie. And that's it. 4 years in college and university, I only went out with my friends 3 times. Now, I'm just sharing this with you, not to ask you to emulate me, but to just give you a glimpse of what kind of sacrifices that you probably need to make as an entrepreneur. Even in the early days, all I was paid by my own company was just a measly 300 ringgit per month. That's it, 300 ringgit per month. Some of you out for internships could probably have gotten far more wage compared to what I've paid myself. And I call myself a business owner, an entrepreneur, and 300 ringgit is all I got. You see, what defines entrepreneurship here is actually not just running a company or starting a company, because starting is really, really easy. In fact, if you're in Malaysia, you need to know that starting a business literally just requires 50 ringgit. All you need to do is take that 50 ringgit, go up to the registrar of businesses and companies, fill in some forms, pay them the 15 ringgit, and bam, you are then a business owner. It's as simple as that. Starting is very easy, and it's even easier because in the beginning you have the drive, you have the motivation, you have the inspiration, you're out there to change the world, you want to do a lot. But at the same time, you need to know that building a business, it's not starting. Building a business is about sustaining the company, sustaining the impact, sustaining the passion over 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 100 years. I do not know, but the whole idea here is, are you up for it? You know, when I started my journey, I was just an ordinary 17-year-old. Some of that you may be hearing this story as, hey, Jen probably came from a rich family. He probably came from an Ivy League school, maybe, or maybe he done very well in studies, he has business background, maybe his family's entrepreneurial. None. Zero. I came from a very ordinary and average Malaysian family. I grew up not in an international school, no fancy school. This is just a basic government school. I went through the government syllabus as every kid would, and I wasn't the top of my class. In fact, I was among the last of my class. My family only gave me, again, 300 ringgit as allowance, and this is really parents giving me money, yeah, for my driving petrol expenses, for me to have lunch in between classes and things like that, 300 ringgit. Irony, right? 300 ringgit my parents give me. 300 ringgit was what I paid myself in my first company as well. But things like that, I would really grow up and they have no entrepreneurial experience. In fact, my parents were very against me starting my company. I told you they are very typical Malaysians. They told me things like, oh, Jen, you need to become an engineer. I think some of you here are probably taking that path, right? So your parents should be proud of you. My parents wasn't proud of me, right? Because when I told them that I want to do my own business, they literally cold storage me. Every time when I went back home and they saw me stressed, when I told them that's because of business, they will always tell me, I told you so. Why did you want to start a company? You should have been a student. Study well, become an engineer, become an accountant, become a lawyer, become a doctor, whatever it could mean to just get me off the track. And it does not help that even my teachers in school back then told my parents that Jen won't make it in life. And that's true. That's what my teacher actually told my parents during Parents-Teacher Day. And the only outcome was more additional classes, extra classes that I was forced to attend, which I hated, by the way. And then, even when I was running companies, my own business partner told me, Jen, stop dreaming. Why do you keep dreaming and having all these visions of how the company? Stop dreaming, do the work, just dream, stop dreaming. And then I have family members and also business partners telling me, hey, Jen, you asked for it. This is the life you chose. Suck it up, move on. This is exactly why you hear entrepreneurs talking about mental health issues. You hear entrepreneurs jumping off buildings. You hear entrepreneurs really telling you the gruesome part of entrepreneurship, because it's really not just about the glam and the money. So before I close, I just want to very quickly share with you 6 reasons why today could be a good start to consider starting your own business or becoming an entrepreneur. Of course, you need to be able to soak it in and take in whatever they have shared, the good and the bad of entrepreneurship. But if you're still here and this is something that you're interested in, especially if you're a student, okay, especially if you're a student, these are the 6 things you need to pay attention to, and then I will wrap up and close. Number 1, today is a great day to start, especially if you're a student, because of this one thing. Your days are fixed. Let me tell you this, there will never be another time in life where you have a fixed schedule, where you know that today you have class, tomorrow you don't. The next day you only have a morning class, you have a 3-hour break in between, and then another class. You have an assignment due 3 months later, 6 months later. You have a final year project, you have a thesis that you need to write. There will never be another time in life that you'll be given this certainty about your time. When you go out and work, when you're employed, your time is your boss's. They will tell you, no, Jen, tomorrow it's overtime, you need to get back to work. No choice, client is paying. If you don't want, you walk out, you're fired. But as a student, you still have this luxury of time. The question is, what are you really doing about it? Are you spending it playing games? Are you spending it watching Netflix? Now, I understand those are important, but there could be even more interesting and productive use of time. That certainty that you have, don't waste it. Number 2, because if you are still a student, you can actually play the I am a student card. What I meant here was because when I was a student back then, and I realized the privilege as a student is a privilege, by the way, you don't need to be too anxious to graduate, you can actually use this to your advantage. How I did it was that I recall there was an assignment that required me to conduct a research about a company. It's a business assignment, right? And all my friends basically tried thinking about, oh, what's the trending topic? What are the companies that is easy to get answers for that I can easily just piece things together with the least amount of time to submit? At that point of time, I played the I am a student card. I called up my competitors at the time. Remember, I was already running a company, right? I called up my competitors. I said, hey, my name is Jen. I'm a student from this particular university, and I would like to interview you. I would like to find out more about your processes, how you do business. And you know what? Because you're a student, people are more willing to bring you into their company. They brought me in, told me how they made money, how they advertise, what do they do, their operations, and they're very, very kind to me. Do you think if I were to pick up the phone right now and call my competitors, they would say, come to my office? Probably not. So the question is, are you using this phase of your life to your advantage? Third point, you are surrounded with peers. Never again you'll be surrounded with hundreds, if not thousands of people of similar age doing similar things. Never. Because when you graduate and you head out, the people that you'll be surrounded with are either your peers that are trying to fight for that position. That could be your bosses, your managers, people from different industries. But right now, in your class, in the people that's surrounding you, are you already looking for people that you can potentially work with? You know, the other partners in Open Minds are actually my ex-group mates from uni. We were tasked together by lecturers because it was randomized at that point of time. And I found these people pretty interesting. And I made a mental note. I told myself that, hey, if one day I'm going to do something, I'm going to remember these guys and try to recruit them. Fast forward many years after graduation, they all got good corporate jobs. I went and tried to woo them into my company called Open Minds. And they did. So until today, right now, my business partners were actually my group mates. Use this time to quote unquote interview your friends. The speaker earlier talked about you attending an interview, right? But even right now, you can already start evaluating and interviewing other people, finding out who are the people I should work with, who are the people I should not work with, who are the people I need to spend more time with. That's what you need to do. Fourthly, you have access to support. There's so much support given to students. Even sessions like this is a privilege. Maybe you can find government grants. Maybe your school, your association, some organization out there is willing to give you training, to give you resources, to give you market access, to give you some money to get started. But the qualification is you probably need to be a student, an undergrad, a postgrad, it does not matter. But are you tapping out from all these opportunities? And this is what I like, the fifth one. Failures hold no records. Because at this point of time, even if you fail, honestly, what could happen? You start a business at the age of 18, 19, 20, and you fail that business. What's the worst that could happen? You still have your education. You can still go out and get a degree or master's for that matter. But imagine if you are 30 years old, you are 35 years old, you're 40 years old, and that time when you try and you fail, again, no wrong in that failure. But don't you think you have a lot more to lose at that age, at that phase in life? But now as a student, it's basically a bonus additional life. If you play games, you probably understand what I'm talking about. And then last but not least, we live in a world that's so connected. With social media, with digital means, it's so easy to start and try. Marketing is almost free. You are able to reach out to your friends, tap into the power of TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat and LinkedIn to really build something on your own. The best part is you probably don't even need to spend much money. You just need to spend and invest those free time that you have from that certainty, from the earlier point that I said, to invest into what you really want to do for your future. You know, not every business owner is an entrepreneur. Not at all. But an entrepreneur is likely a business owner. The truth is, entrepreneurship, this whole thing about entrepreneurship is actually more of a choice of mindset. Many people have this misunderstanding thinking that entrepreneurship is a career. I start a company, I'm an entrepreneur, it's a career that I chose. No, you can be an entrepreneur while being an employee, working for others. You could be an entrepreneur there. Why? Because it's all about a mindset. All these things that I've shared with you in the past 15 to 20 minutes all comes down to just one word of mindset. How much are you able to exercise that passion for your business or for your job? How much are you able to access that creativity and innovation for your business or for your job? How much are you willing to sacrifice so that you're able to put in that additional effort to be better than your competitors if you're running a company, or better than your peers if you have a job? The whole idea of entrepreneurship is about you. What do you want? It's not about being your own boss, but more so, I will do whatever it takes to succeed in life. That is entrepreneurship. With that said, I've come to the end of my 20-minute, slightly lesser because of the time limitation. But for those of you who like to stay in touch, feel free to connect with me either on Instagram or LinkedIn. I'll be more than happy to even answer questions over there or even shoot a Slido link. So feel free to do so, and I'll be very happy to be able to share with you more on these platforms. Once again, thank you. Have a great rest of the weekend. See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Mr. Janmohan, for the wonderful session, and it was really interactive. We are really proud to have you today. So on behalf of the committee, please accept a heartfelt thank you for joining us by dedicating your valuable time. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give a virtual round of applause for Mr. Janmohan. Having competitive skills is an important part of developing your career. There are many qualities that are universally desired by employers, regardless of their field. Especially if you are unsure about the career path you would like to pursue, it's important to develop skills that can transfer from one industry to another. This allows you to explore your job options freely while still creating a strong resume and performing well at work. Now we have a panel discussion on opportunities and skills needed in industry with a panelist including 4 well-experienced speakers. And also we have an industry expert moderator as well. Let me introduce them to you. Today we have Dr. Jessica Bayan, President of the IEEE Power and Energy Society currently and the Vice President of Grid Services at Grid X Partners. Next, we have Mr. Hosam Ali, Cybersecurity Program Manager at Victoria University. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our next panelist, Ms. Amy Yano, Chairman of the IEEE Region 10 Women in Engineering Committee. Next, we have Mr. Alexander Mastilovich, PhD candidate at the Faculty of Technical Sciences, the University of Novi Sad in Smart Technologies and Modern Mobile Networks. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our panelist, and let me introduce our moderator for this valuable event. Today we have Mr. Dhammika Marasinghe as a moderator of the panel discussion. Mr. Dhammika is a computer engineering graduate from the University of Peradeniya, Sri Lanka, with over 5 years of industry experience. He currently works as an associate technical lead at Maturity EdTech startup. He also is a general council member of SLASCOM, Sri Lanka Association of Software and Services Companies, and heads its capacity forum. Dhammika is an IEEE member since 2013, and also he is the chairperson of IEEE Young Professionals Sri Lanka. He is a VOLD graduate of class 2020, and for his contributions, he received the IEEE Region 10 Young Professionals Outstanding Volunteer Award for the industry category in 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with a virtual round of applause. This is our moderator of today's panel discussion, Mr. Dhammika Marasinghe. Over to you, Mr. Dhammika, to take the floor.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Today, we are in the first day of CLAP, getting ready for the industry. So tomorrow, you will hear more about the academia. So today, the primary objective of this discussion is to talk about the future of the industry, opportunities that are waiting for you, and to discuss what kind of skills that are required for you to succeed in that 21st century. So with me, I have 4 esteemed panelists today to share you all things about the industry, which they have many years of experience with different fields. So I'm inviting first Dr. Jessica Baird, the president of IEEE Power and Energy Society, as well as the vice president of Grid Services of GridX Partners. And then the Alexandra, who's the IEEE Publication Services and Products Board, as well as the senator of WBA. And then Jose Mali, quite familiar face for most of you in IEEE, chairperson of IEEE MGA student activities, as well as the cybersecurity program manager of Victoria University. And then another familiar face to R10, Semiano, the chairperson of IEEE Region 10 Women Engineering Committee, as well as the Human Resource Development Manager of Richard IT Solutions. So welcome you all to the panel to discuss about the opportunities and skills needed in the industry. So to start off with, first we'll hear from the panelists themselves, because they carry years of experience and exposure to this very own industry. And they are coming from different backgrounds. And I'm pretty sure all of the delegates who are here today would love to hear what they have done and how they have achieved these current places that they are right now. So first, I'll move to Dr. Jessica, who's the president of the IEEE PES, to ask her about like what kind of exposure that he had to the industry, and then what are the like skills that help her to grow to the position that she's in right now. Over to you, Jessica.
Thank you, Dhammika. Thank you for the organizing committee. Hello, Region 10. I always say I'm excited to join the students and YP programs, events like this. So I will elaborate more what we're doing as a IEEE Power Energy Society, but I'll get to that later. So who I am? So I got my family influence. Okay, it's like Asian culture, right? So both my parents were electrical engineers. So to me, it's very easy to kind of say, I know what right? The power industry is about, because they both work for utility companies. So I was kind of immersed into their discussion when I was very young. So I didn't even think about it. I thought it's infrastructure. It helps move the economy because we keep lights on, right? Especially nowadays, everybody charge their phone. This is a lifeline of our modern life. So I started with my bachelor, master, and PhD. That was kind of my path. I didn't have any second thought where I should go differently. And I joined. After my PhD, I taught for 2 years. I just didn't feel that I can see my what I contribute would get immediate rewarding, right? I'm kind of impatient person. So, well, yeah, education is it's a long journey. I will see students and everything, and research is a long journey as well. So I said, let me try industry. So I joined Westinghouse electric company for 5 or 6 years. And then the industry here in America started deregulation. So the utility company, instead of they have a generation, they have a transmission distribution, they said, well, we're going to open, everybody can join. So this is like Netflix, right? So if I have a content, I can sell to Netflix and broadcast it and stream it. So for our industry, same. So the government says, let's just open up the pipeline or the transmission line and let all the technologies, coals, the gas companies, all the generators come in play. So I thought maybe this is a chance for me to move to a different, it's still in the same industry, but kind of different area. So I joined a utility company, not a manufacturer company, utility company. So I started to learn the operation planning. Then USA had a Black Star. They had a blackout event in 2003. After that, I thought maybe this is something I should do. So you can see I'm kind of following the social needs, right? Whenever there's the calling from society, and I would change. So I moved to a standards development organization, very much like IEEE. Stakeholder coming, all the utility companies coming, they grade on the reliability standards. So I work with these stakeholders and try to get consensus, and so that they can vote and get my standard passed. And so I learned that in that company a lot of like, how do I get everyone on the same page so I can get 75% of votes, because my bonus depends on how many standards I can pass, right, within my company. So I developed a very good negotiation and how to help all the stakeholders move into the same direction, which is part of leadership skill. So I kind of honed that skill within in my standards organization. Then I had this family crisis. I was away from family, and so I moved to a place that close to my kids and family. So I joined a regulatory commission. It's called the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. So as you can see, my career stands from academic and to manufacturing, which I had lots of IEEE transaction papers and patents, kind of research. Now I moved to a purely industry, like operational dispatch, like how to keep lights on every minute. That's what I did for 6 years. Then because the blackout, then I said, maybe there's other needs. I should do more, right? Have a bigger impact. So I moved on the standards organization. So make sure that every company, they will follow the certain standards, mandatory standards, keep lights on. Then I moved to regulatory side. And along the way, I have been the IEEE PES member and Computer Society member, and some other society members, and the Women in Engineering or Women in Power. So they kind of drafted me into, say, hey, we need your help. So I've been with the Women in Engineering and Women in Power since 2012. And then they nominated me to serve as a PES secretary. So I was on the ballot. I got elected for 2 terms. And then the PES governing board saw my ability, my passion, and my They said, well, we got to draft you again to run for the president-elect. So here I am. So the rest of it is history. So back to you.
That's a great intro, Jessica. And I think like that's a great start for our discussion also, because most of the students here, they think sometimes the first degree that they are doing is defining their whole career. And I think like you prove with the example that how you were not afraid to change your career based on the social needs and based on the society's impact, what you can create to the society. Because ultimately, like while you are working, you have to enjoy the life and make a really good contribution to the society. So next, I'll move to the Emmy, who's again coming from the region 10. So Emmy coming from like a different technical perspective and then like moving to even HR management. What's your story, Emmy?
Okay, thank you, Damika, and thanks for organizing the committee for inviting me this special club event. Hello, everyone. This is Emi Ano from Tokyo section, Japan, and I'm currently in charge of Region 10 WHR. It's already past 4 years, very long time. And yes, my career and my education, when I was a university student, I specialized in consequently engineering. It's affective engineering. So human-friendly information processing technologies for setting the diversity of users' cognitive and behavioral responses. And before assuming my current position, I worked in information integration company as a web usability engineer, and I have accumulated several years experience in web consulting using the human-centered design and design thinking process. And now I am working in the IT company, Rico IT Solutions. It's a subsidiary company of Rico. And I have over 10 years experience in the HR department. And now I am the manager of the human resources development sections. So currently I am focusing on human resources development for IT engineers, especially career development and improving communication between people in the workplace through effective leadership and organizational development. So this era is known as a 100-year time period. So it is very important to have your vision. So through my job, I am supporting engineers to get clear about their career. In addition, I am working on implement diversity and inclusion and also hiring employees. And I'd like to share my ITP journey too a little bit. And I have a very active volunteer in ITP since 2008. And it was very, very small step at first, local activities with YP member, and the student members in the Tokyo section. But after a few years, I have many friends and I had many opportunities, not only in Japan, also region 10 and the global level. So as you know, I2P is a diverse community, truly unlike any other. So it means I learned a lot from I2P friends and the global readers through this kind of activities, and it helps a lot with my work because my experience in I2P as a reader, for example, as a Region 10 double chair, so it helps me a lot. When I became a manager in my company, I already know how I do as a leader in the organization. So I have many experience, and I very happy to having a great friend, great supporters in I2P. So I am very excited to join and discuss with wonderful global leaders today. So that's from me. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Amy. And I think like you really are a really good ambassador for the club we are doing also here, the career leadership program. because you mentioned like how exactly the effort that you are putting even after joining the industry to the improvement of the career development, as well as like effective communication leadership of the student the employees. And I think the students here would be really lucky to hear you from the next rounds, when you actually can share certain experiences that you have in this upskilling. Next, I'll move to Hussein, who's the MGA Student Activities Chairperson. And Hussein, what's your story? I'm pretty sure most are waited to hear as students to hear from the Student Activities Chair of MGA.
Thanks, Damika, and hi everyone. It's my pleasure to be here today with you, and I'm happy to share my journey and experience. So, I started to work actually after graduation. I studied telecom and electronics engineering, and then found the first role to work as a technical support engineer. However, when I was a student, I realized that I love the management tasks more than the technical ones. And that was mainly because of the IEEE activities. I found that I enjoy IEEE activities more than studying or taking care of the technical stuff. But it was my first job. This is the first job I got. I said, yes, I will go for it. I went for it to enjoy to be a technical support engineer, and then got opportunities to travel and work on different countries within Alcatel. So I traveled like with them maybe 10 times over 3 years. And that was amazing experience because at that time I used to take management work and to start to act as a role like of technical PM, where I do some of the technical work and some management work. And after that, I wanted to move on from any technical responsibilities and be a project manager. I got the PMI certification, the PMP, a popular certification, and then was able to join Vodafone Egypt as a project manager. And at that time, also the telecom sector wasn't the best. So I was managing IT transformation and automation projects. Then in 2018, I moved to Australia and joined one of the big telcos to manage IT projects and infrastructure projects. And after that, by a year, I found that cybersecurity is so interesting and growing like this, especially here. And the more you have technology and digital transformation, the more the need for cybersecurity. When you do banking from phone, if you have application transferring money or doing any other stuff using your phone or web applications, all of this needs to be secure. So I found good opportunity to join a small company. It was cybersecurity consultancy company, and I joined them for 2 years where I learned cybersecurity. And after that, I work now as a consultant and I'm managing the cybersecurity program at Victoria University. I'm leading a team of 15 people to manage around 28 projects at the budget of $3.5 million. So now I enjoy doing this. I enjoy both management and cybersecurity. And it's very important when you move from a company to another or a role to another to have a goal. Do you move to get higher salary, to get higher role, or to learn a new technology? So it's very important before you shift your career or you move from a company to another to understand your goal and make sure the next step would be better than this step or where you are at. So that's all for me today, and back to you, Damika.
Thanks. That's a great input, Hussein, because as IEEE, we are an organization that advances technology also. And by staying with IEEE, you can also get to know a lot of things about the emerging technologies. And I think like Hussein brought a really good example where he identifies these emerging technologies and combined it with the volunteering experience that he had gained through IEEE to make a career from that. So that's a really good input, Hussein. Last, I'll move to the Alex, who's been like in different aspect of digital transformation projects and certain other development agencies, even before engaging with IEEE. And now he's also looking at the publication services as well as product in IEEE. Alex, so can you share of some of the experience to mention where exactly you came from and how exactly you are in the position right now?
Of course, thank you. And I hope that you can hear me well because I'm in hotel, so the internet connection is not so great. And actually that fact was the reason I chose to study telecommunications. And I had a dream to help and support the global action of creating universal access and connectivity to everybody around the world. And I can say that it's still my personal mission. I also want to thank you for this invitation, recognition, and I'm so glad to share my journey and experience to all of you here. And I really want to clap hands to IEEE Young Professionals in Region 10, especially because I'm IEEE Young Professionals Committee member at the global level. This is a great program, and I think this is something amazing and really necessary for young professionals and students to collect ideas for their first steps in the career. From my personal perspective, I cannot say that I can stay in one place for a long time. So very interesting career path, because I used to be academic for more than a decade, and I just was one step away from my PhD after receiving European Union Maria Curie Fellowship, what is actually the Excellence Award in Europe. But at that moment, actually, I got offered to join the government sector at National Regulatory Authority for Telecommunications and Electronic Media. And I became director for telecoms, and I started working in regulation in telecommunications industry and the market. I accept that kind of challenge because that was something completely new from me after more than a decade in academia. But actually, I skipped one step that during my period in academia, I tried to convert in every step my research work into business. So I have started working as a consultant, and also I launched two startups, one in Serbia related to smart cities, and another one related more to consultancy business in Florida in the United States. And I'm still working with that in parallel. Even in the period I was part of the government sector, and then I continue working as consultant, what actually I'm doing right now. So I'm still younger than 40. So I spent a few years in very significant roles, and I received a lot of recognition in academia sector, in industry and business sector, and also in government sector, what I find very useful, especially for people who prefer not to stay too long in one place, and for people who are looking for new challenges. It's super great because today I can say that I have multi-stakeholder approach and ability to observe challenges we are facing right now. Because when we are talking, for example, about universal access and connectivity, you have to know that it's not only about technology. Okay, technology is always the key factor and is necessary, but you need to think about operational aspects, how to create a sustainable business models to promote this idea to investors and telecoms to invest money, to build infrastructure, but also you need to communicate with your government to get permissions and licenses, and to be involved in legislation creation, because you need affirmative legislation regulation to finalize your job. So telecommunications is still something what is central point of my career, but also I'm playing very different roles around that topic. I hope that
Great.
it's enough for this first step.
Yes, I think like that's a good point because as IEEE advancing technology for humanity, to mention, it's not only about like improving the technology, doing the research part and all of that. We also need to think about like the standardizations, the implementation side of things, and the governance side of things, as well as the overall impact of the technology that we do, its impact to the society, its impact to the environment, and all of that piece. So since like there are multiple pointers coming from all of you about the industry, now I move to the second phase where we need to identify the future of industry, more to understand what exactly lies ahead. So we'll try to like understand high level features of the industry, so that like then we can primarily focus on the skill need and then the motivating our students. So if we can take about like a minute or two and share about like each of your industry. So primarily, like I'll start with Emmy, because you mentioned that you were involved with human-centered technology, how exactly that's being combined, because as we are enhancing the technologies for the world, we need to think of like how exactly they are connected with the humans, and what kind of like impact it would create. So maybe Emmy can first touch on that, and then Jessica, Uzaim, and Alexandra can add on based on like maybe Jessica on power and energy aspect of it, Alex on the telecommunication aspect of it, and Hussein on computing side of things, since you are more into cybersecurity aspect of it. Amy, over to you to mention few things about like what exactly is the future of the industry of engineering.
Okay, thank you. Actually, I studied concept engineering. It's very related diversity, because same as a human-centered design, it means we each person have different feeling or different things. So it's not from the future technology, but from my side, I really expected considering the diversity for future technology. Then, and after that, of course, as already you know, we are many new technology expected, like IoT, AI, cloud computing, or cybersecurity, and robotics and data science, like that. So the technology is always changing. So I like to mention to all of you that maybe the specific technologies, things other panelists more professional. So from my side, yes, the technology is already changing. So we engineers or researchers, we professionals need to run every moment. So if you're already finished your study, almost finished your study, the future technologies are changing. So we need to think about what technologies come to the next. So maybe DX or AI or computer cloud computing, like that. So yes, from my side, for career development things, so it's very important things.
Yes. So I mean, regardless of the technology or regardless of the engineering field that you are in, especially if you are in the engineering as well as in the technological field, you can never stop learning, because it's always changing. What you are learning today in the university might have been changed when you actually come to the industry. But the very fundamentals that we learn, as well as learning to learn, will be really important as you proceed in the industry. Jessica, what do you want to add about power and energy sector?
Yeah, sure. I want to say there's no bad industry or good industry. The different industry just try to meet our human needs. Like Amy said, and you said as well, right? How do we consider the human side of it? And Amy said the technology is changing all the time. So if we want to chase technology, you can look at the human history. We started with nothing, right? With hand stone tools. Then we came up with Industry Revolution, 1760. And then we had a machine, we had a steam power, we had a hydro power. Then we came with the electricity, whereas the Thomas Edison came along. So this is how the IEEE was started 140 years ago. So these are you can see the evolution of human needs. We have this wonderful thing I call imagination. I would say the future industry would lie into how we can imagine where we're gonna be. For instance, when you can tell the Jeff Bezos and others, they try to say, okay, if we have the climate issue, let's just go to Mars, go to moon, out of space. So those are the human imaginations, right? And how we can adapt, how we can meet our needs, particularly after air, food, and shelter, right? So those are the basic needs. We need that every day, every minute. Once we have that, we try to say, okay, what else I need? Well, I need a security, right? Like cybersecurity and the police and all that, so that I can be free and function as I want to be. Here I live in Boston area. We have this I call it model for state. New Hampshire says, live free or die. I think that's part of the human spirit. So I think all the industry will evolve with that, with our imagination, and try to be as free as possible. And technology will be the one way to enable us to free. With the phones, you can go anywhere, like Alex said, Hossein said, we move around and just try to enjoy being human. So I think future is ours, and especially like Alex said, I appreciate you organize this and create more imaginations. So have more the young talents coming into and create a bright future. And if you find a good job and you just follow the money, right? So here at US, we just passed, the Congress just passed the deficit reduction bill that has tons of sustainable and EVs and hydrogens, all kinds of technologies. Just follow the money, you find a good job. But after that, you try to discover yourself. Is this something you want? Like I was saying, hey, maybe cybersecurity is what I want to be, right? Or the communications or the government regulations, all that, they're good because they serve our human needs. So the future is very bright, and the industry will be there and helping us to meet our goals and our imaginations.
Great, Jessica. The future of the industry is only limited by the imagination of ourselves who are living in the industry itself. Alex, do you want to also add a few pointers on the same?
Yeah, actually, I will just follow this line because it's obvious that technology is evolving as actually the human needs evolving, and expectation for quality of life, what is specifically related to new expectation in 21st century. People are very ambitious, and we are looking to have all these services available. I'm not talking about only services related to electrical engineering and engineering, but also we are talking about communal services, better urban services, because our city is growing up very quickly. We can talk about acceleration of urbanization. We need technology to help us to fulfill different things. Actually, we just survived one pandemic, actually, and the digital transformation globally was pushed much quicker than we expected. And in some aspects also, we weren't ready, and we have a lack of regulation and things. But actually, we have technology here. Even the biggest skeptics actually has to accept technology as a tool, and that's the point, is what I want to underline here. Technology is just a tool in our hand, and it's always about humans, how we want to actually use technology to resolve our challenges. I just apologize. Sorry, actually background noise. Actually, how to resolve some challenges we are facing right now. Technology is always few steps in advance compared what we can see. For example, self-driving cars already existing, but we are waiting for testing, regulation, standardization, etc., etc. So also we are working on ultra reliable, low latency communications within the 5G or 6G mobile networks to support telemedicine, to support remote education, to actually to support people to be able to stay at home, not only in urban areas, but also to bring some services to rural areas, to accelerate, actually, to slow down urbanization process, trying to bring some benefits of 21st century in suburban and rural areas to avoid moving people not only to cities but also to big cities, looking for jobs, for better education, for better health care, etc., etc. So all these topics could be improved using technologies. So from the aspect of our engineering work and potential for engineering career, I see a huge potential for everybody. And also, I will just appeal that we have to be very open-minded and thinking out of box, because a lot of jobs will disappear and a lot of new jobs and new skills will appear in the job market. So for younger engineers, the most important advice is to be open to learn new things and to change your career direction if you see better and new opportunities.
Great, Alex. As you mentioned, like whatever the things that you learn, that's only a tool which will actually help you to build not only the great products, also your career. Hussein, what do you want to add about like the computing IT industry as for?
So first of all, completely with Jessica and Amy about what they mentioned about the future of technology. In my view, the future is cloud computing, cybersecurity, IoT, machine learning, and also renewable energy because of the global warming. This is one of the most critical issues we have now, and we need to find a solution for that. And there are other technologies coming in that will have industry applications soon, like the hologram technology and metaverse. By the way, I was invited to Cisco office a few months ago to attend a demo session for their hologram technology. I tried the technology, and yes, you wear a headset, and you see someone in the US like you are sitting on a table, and they can catch some objects and explain stuff. Like even if you are studying medicine, they can get the body and explain the different parts. So it's going to be a big revolution in education and also in the health system. But I think this technology is still a bit premature to go for industry application. However, it should be available soon. So my advice to students and young professionals is to look at the future, see what's coming, and make sure to be part of it. So how can I know about the future? Easy, by attending these events and staying, being member with IEEE. You can see that there are lots of podcasts and YouTube channels talking about the future. You can listen and watch them to learn more about it and how to get there, how to make sure I'm part of it. The easiest way for you is to get a mentor. The mentor should be your future, someone who is in this industry doing very well, and this person can help you to get there, telling you, go and take this course, do this activity, join this company. They can open opportunities to you as well, especially if this mentor is a local mentor, because they know the market, they have the network, they can help you with multiple ways. So this is my view in a nutshell. Thank you.
Thanks, Hussein. So we have about like 15 more minutes in the discussion. So in that like last 15 minutes, I'd like to focus more on the actual like skill requirement and what exactly and how exactly our students can prepare for these future jobs that are waiting for them. So first, I'd like to move again to the Jessica to mention few things about like it's not always about like technical skills that we create on. Now the world is more focusing on things like ESG, the environment, sustainability, governance, all that piece, and then different things around SDGs coming from all these agencies like UN. So with all of these, like how exactly a student should prepare for the future of industry?
Yeah, great question. So everyone's different. That's what Amy said. Everyone's different. So the way I see it is, I mean, out of all the skills I learned along my journey is put yourself into others' shoes. So if you think that, okay, I'm applying for, let's say, Cisco, right, for IBM or Google, or I would do a research, see what they need, what are the new initiatives they're trying to launch, what are the things they need, what are the tests, because every company or every institution has its own focus and priority. So if you can think along their needs and think of why they need that and how I can help, and that will help you, that skill, that mindset will help you for lifelong. Even let's say you have a family, right? You think from your kid's side, your partner's side, or your workplace, and think about your team, the project, or you're looking for when you want to talk to HR like Amy, and just think of why, what they need, why they need to hire me, because I'm hired just to help them to grow or to solve one of their issues or their challenges. So if you think that, you'll find a lot of solution. You'll be imaginary, think, well, this is how maybe I can, these are the ideas I can help them. So that's the match that will be best, that you can meet the company's needs, social needs, family needs, everyone's needs. So we're here to kind of meet everyone's needs, even the industry, a university, and everyone, right? We try to find a belonging relationship and the needs and help others. So those are the others, communications. We heard a lot, right? How to communicate effectively. All those are good. But at least for me personally, what helped me the most is I try to understand others. Like, for instance, why women in engineering nominated me, try to run for the PS secretary, right? And I also think why IEEE needs me, or how I can help IEEE. So think of that. You can focus your energy and your time and resources into that, and you could be creative and also solve the problem right there, because we all have limited resources. So if you can focus that and try to solve and think, understand their issues, and you'll be successful, and you'll go higher and further.
Great. That's a really good input, because as engineers, as professionals, what we need to do is to solve the problems, so that like we can create a better impact. And on that journey, I think like Jessica also brought another good point. You need to understand the problem also, and understand how other people see about it, more of like the empathy. So that's a great point. Thanks, Jessica, for that points. Next, I'll go for Alex. Alex, you've also been in like different fields, also like contributing to the engineering field, as well as to the country with certain implementations. So with that, like, what exactly are the skills that you think would help our students preparing for the future of industry?
Actually, I think that when you're talking about the future industry, it's very important to be able not to be innovative in technologies, in engineering, but also to create innovative business models. Because, for example, for telecom industry, I'll just share my opinions. Telecoms generally worldwide today suffering of the chronic lack of profit right now, because they are still insisting in services, human-centric services, providing short messaging, internet access, or calls. With 5G, for example, with new generation of mobile networks, this technology actually is focused more to machine-to-machine communication. So it's completely new perspective and new market and new opportunity to create innovative business models to provide Internet of Things universal connectivity for billions of sensors, for example, and to find customers, not only individuals, but also cities, for example, for smart cities, or private 5G networks for smart industry, and for facilitates of industry, for production lines, for smart driving cars for the future. You can see, for example, Tesla cars are already connected to the internet. So also the Elon Musk launching the satellite Starlink actually may be focused exactly to provide universal connectivity to Tesla cars, plus of course to provide service for internet access, acting as a universal global service provider for internet. When we are talking about that, it's also very important to conclude that we need to be innovative in both directions together in parallel. If one direction is going much faster than another one, we will not be successful in this story, because there are many startups creating great ideas, but they are not successful in the market because maybe they came too early, or people are not ready to pay for these services, or they are too much expensive for that. So it's very important when you think about new ideas for industries to think from the perspective to check first what are needs in the market. So to push your product to fulfill these needs instead of pull your product. Let's create product and then thinking about the sales, marketing, and another strategies. You cannot think only about engineering, because it's great for our community. We are tech lovers and we're always trying to create some science fiction solutions. But we also, if we want to think from the perspective of business and industry, we need to think to be sustainable and to be profitable also. I want to touch just one point, because Hassam is related to cybersecurity. What is also critical for success is to create the trust in technology, especially for non-engineering to regular people around us. There are two critical points for future technologies to be successful in the market, to create new successful industry lines. We are talking about cybersecurity and privacy. We need to think about both of that, because we are living right now in industry 4. We are talking about information age. Actually, the biggest value is in collected data. So we need to take care about data to prevent illegal access by cybersecurity strategies and mechanisms, and also to create affirmative and very well designed smart regulation legislation to protect the privacy. So who is owner of data, who can use data for some business intelligence decisions, profiling, predictions, etc., etc. So all this together actually creating the successful platform for future industries and further progress. Thank you.
Great. So that's a good point, Alex. I think as professionals now, our responsibilities are also getting more broader and bigger, because we, as you mentioned, like we are stepping into a information age, or we might have already stepped in. With that, like it create different new other problems. And I think another point that you highlighted was skills in different fields, not only about the technology. It has to be around like can be around business models, or it's different. So I think like even our participants can look at T-shaped skills. They have like deep understanding in certain areas, but also the broader understanding on different technicalities or different fields, because that will help you to land a really good career path in your future. Because even from all the speakers, all the panelists we have today, you noticed how exactly like they moved from one opportunity to another by utilizing certain opportunities that they had by learning new skills likewise. So Hussein, like from your side of things, what would you like to add into the people who are coming to the computing industry, especially like more into different emerging technologies? How do they ready for the industry?
Yeah, sure. So the first thing you need to do if you're a student now, what do you like? What kind of industry, or what do you want to do in the future? Do you want to work on hardware design, software? If it's software, what language, what industry? So this is a common question for students maybe in 3rd or 4th year who are ready to go to market. And it's going to take time, by the way. So my advice to students, after you graduate and you go and apply for multiple industries. If you're not sure what you want to do, go and apply, go join some courses to learn more about this specific field and see if this is what you like or not, and go apply for jobs. Whatever job you get, start with it, because it's going to be your first job. You need to learn lots of skills about how work managed, how the internal systems work, how the professional life is being managed by team leads. It's a bit different than the volunteering life, by the way. So all of that you need anyway. And then once you get your first job, you need to think about the future. Is this what I need? If not, if yes, all good, you need to build a career. And to build a career, you need to start with doing some hands-on work and then getting skill training and certification, and then doing more, getting more hands-on experience and the skills and certifications and all of this. This is how you can grow within your work. And if you join the job and you don't like it, never resign. Never do this mistake. You have to set a plan to find what you like and go for the second job. Why? If you resign the second day, it's going to be hard for you to find a second job. You will be under pressure. You will need to find it quickly because you may be, you are not financially stable enough. So it's okay if you join the job, you don't like it. Take time, get ready for the second job. I like what Jessica mentioned about to know about the problem and why the company will need you to join them. Look at their website, look at the jobs you want to join, see the required certifications and experience. Try to get these skills before you go and even apply. And the last advice I want to say, to do good in interviews, there is a very nice idea. If you apply, you'll do way much better. And this is about doing interviews. So if you have any opportunity to sit in an interview panel, you will put yourself in the customer shoes. So you will see how people behave in interviews, what's good, what's wrong, what did you like, what you didn't like as an interviewer, not as an interviewee. And then you can use this skill in your future interviews. You know, yeah, last time someone said that, yeah, I can use it, or I shouldn't say that because that person, when they said that in the interview, didn't like it, and so on. So this is a good practice. If you follow these steps, this is definitely will help you to find what you love and to be able to get your preferred job. Thank
Great.
you.
Thanks. What you mentioned is really important because it's not the first degree that you learn. You have like continuously learning if you want to excel in your industry, regardless of which industry that is. It can be like the power and energy sector, it can be computing, it can be telecommunication, it can be any other industry, but you shouldn't stop learning. You should always have a plan, and also should get support from mentors likewise, so that you can actually reach the dream path that you are having. So on that, like Amy in her organization also, like she's actively working on these aspects as a HR manager also. So from that aspect, from the pointers that Hussein just mentioned, Amy, how do we as an industry, you are excelling the employees that are coming to the industry as fresh graduate, and then like what are the things that you try to enhance on them, so that even the undergraduates who are here joining us today can look forward to the industry, and they'll also feel more confident about going to that. Otherwise, like some of them, they think once I'm done with the university, I'm all alone doing my job. So can you add some pointers on that? Because I think that'll be a great point to end our discussion.
Sure. Thank you. So, yes, I think I really highly recommend you to have your vision. So as already other panelists, Jessica and Alex and Hossam already said, there are many needs, or there are many technologies we need run in the future. But if you have your vision exactly, it's really help you to improve your skills for finding your job. It's, you can select, you can choose the industry or company, what exactly you want to do in the future. So I really recommend all of you to have your vision. It's a very base for improving your professional skills. And for finding your vision, I also recommend to find your careers career sweet spot. So it's like in sports like tennis, golf, there is such a thing as a sweet spot. It's the area on the racket and the club where hitting the ball with the maximum impact. So great result with a minimum impact on the player. So there is a sweet spot when it comes to our choice of job and the career too. And there's a 3 point we can think about our strengths and passion and also business needs. So if you find the strength, you find your strengths, passion and business need, you can find your sweet spot. Then it helps a lot when you develop your career and then you find your vision. Then yes, so after that you can get support from mentor. You can ask, I have a vision like this, so how can I do for my vision? Maybe many experience, mentors has many experience, they can help you, but if you don't know your vision, it's very hard to support from the mentors. So I really recommend all of you to find your vision to improving your skills or finding your new job. So yes, and also we IEEE members can help you to finding your strengths, passion, or business need if you need. So please please join our activities like today, so you can find your own vision using these great opportunities.
Great. Thanks a lot, all our panelists, for contributing to this panel discussion, because you all brought really good insights to this discussion, starting from like how you came to the industry, what helped you to come to the level that you are in right now. And then we also discuss about the future of the industry and what kind of skills that our students require, and certain other like tips and tricks around how exactly they can fast track these career goals that they have. But as Amy was also mentioning, make sure that you find your passion in an area that you are actually passionate about, and then find the skills that are required for that career path or to achieve that vision. When you are working on that, you need to build more of T-shaped skills where you excel on certain technical career or any other skill segment, but also having a broader understanding in all other fields. And then when you are engaging, also make sure that whatever things that you are doing would actually create a social impact, and also creating an actual fulfillment for your side. Because at the end of the day, you also need to be happy about the career path that you are selecting. So with that note, I think today we can close this panel discussion. Once again, I'd like to thank all the panelists who joined this discussion. There are a few questions from the audience about like different fields, which organizing committee will direct to the panelists and then get responses as accordingly. Thanks a lot, and over to you, Maisha.
What a wonderful panel discussion. Thank you so much to our extraordinarily amazing panelists, Dr. Jessica Bian, Jose Mali, Emiano, Alexander Masilovic, and of course, our wonderful moderator, Dhammika. On behalf of the committee, please accept our heartfelt gratitude and appreciation for your time and contribution to our event.
Thank you, everyone, for having me. Have a great weekend. We'll keep in touch. Bye now.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
May we have a huge round of applause virtual for our panelists and our wonderful moderator. Thank you once again for this wonderful panel discussion. We will move on to our next segment. Leadership today is about working extraordinarily well with and through others. As our organizational landscapes continue to change, how we connect with others remains paramount. As students and young professionals, leadership skills remain one of the top skills to acquire and master, and to help us guide through, we have designed this session on leadership training by Mr. Almir Ahsan Asif exclusively for our delegates. Almir Ahsan Asif is the project lead, senior manager, and head of skills and training development of Bangladesh Youth Leadership Center, also called BYLC, and is a graduate of the first Art and Practice of Leadership workshop of BYLC in 2013. Almir completed an executive education on the art and practice of leadership development from Harvard Kennedy School, USA, in May 2017. Before that, he completed Masters of Education in Educational Leadership and School Improvement from Bragg Institute of Educational Development with distinction. Let us all welcome Mr. Almir for this interesting session. Sir, over to you.
Thank you so much, Maisha, for your wonderful introduction. And I'm really glad to be here. So before I start, I would love to see some of the faces, actual faces, rather than the Zoom pictures, Zoom display pictures. So then I would be able to connect with a few more graduates of IEEE. Yes, hi, I can see Manodia. I can see others. And before we start, I would love to have a brief idea where we are coming from. So is it okay if you just write a line about yourself, like, hi, I am Almir from Dhaka, currently studying in etc., etc. So just a brief line to introduce yourself, so I would know where are we all coming from for this session. So I already see a few of the participants starting on their video. But before we go into the session, I would also like to have a disclaimer that many of you might think that leadership is something to motivate people with. Leadership can be a theory, but leadership, at any other definition, leadership is a practice. So it needs to be an interaction. So those of you who are still here, who are still enjoying the session, I would love to see your face. I would love to talk with you and listen to your ideas about leadership. So I can see a lot of responses. Anushika from India, we have Maisha from Bangladesh. People are still typing. So we don't have that much time, so I'll go right to my session. Thank you guys for joining. So thank you, Maisha, for my introduction, but I would also love to introduce myself with another identity. That is, I'm also an IEEE member. This is me back in 2013. I was participating in Hyderabad IEEE Region 10 conference, and in the last 10 years, I have evolved. But one thing that I wasn't able to achieve was to practice engineering. So my parents' dream was in shatters when I didn't pursue my engineering uh, sector. But still, what I found my passion is something else. I found my passion in project management and corporate training in leadership. So this is what I have been doing for the last 8 years. I have been training youth from all across Bangladesh and also around international corporates. And this is what Maisha was mentioning, that I had the opportunity to have an executive education from Harvard Kennedy School. So what I would be talking today is some of the key concepts of Harvard Kennedy School's adaptive leadership. Okay, this is exactly what they teach during their leadership courses at Harvard. And just like I mentioned earlier, this is not something you can just take notes and learn leadership. It's something you have to experience, which is what we call experiential learning method. So I will start with something very basic. What is leadership? So I would love to hear some of the responses. It has no right or wrong answers. I would just like to hear what you think about the word leadership. You can type, you can speak up, whatever is convenient. Yes. Who would be the first brave volunteer to explain? Nicholas Wong. So Nicholas thinks, Nicholas, would you like to share it out loud with your participants? Okay. Hartangjia, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right, but what do you think? What does leadership mean? Hartangjia, you raise your hand. Yeah, I think he's facing some
Sir,
technical.
they cannot unmute the mics because we didn't
All
put
right.
Sir,
Hello,
they're
I'm
typing in
Natasha
the
from
chat box.
Indonesia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Is it
in my
possible to let
opinion,
them unmute
leadership.
for this session? Because I would love to have their point of view for this session.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now
I'm
they do
Harpansya
have
from Indonesia,
now they
and
do have access.
Perfect. Yes, Hartangjia, what do you think? What does leadership mean?
yeah, in my opinion, leadership means we taking responsibilities in what we have and what we want to do by utilizing what we our resource to achieve our goal. And one of the resource is team members or money or time and so on.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you,
Uh,
Hartangjia. Sorry, I think I was lagging a little bit, but I got your idea. Yes, Nicholas Wong, then we'll go to Nuri Alam Sakib.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, so what I wrote about initiative. So to me, I think leaders are those people who, if they see like a problem, they're the ones who feel compelled to take an action.
Right.
As opposed to maybe waiting for someone else to try and fix the problem.
Amazing, amazing definition. Thank you. Nuri Alam Sakib,
Yeah.
and then we'll take the final reflection from Rubini.
Assalamualaikum. In my perspective, anyone can be leader. When there is a problem, if anyone stood out and help the team to complete the project or solve this problem, he can be a leader. So to be a leader, he need to stand up and solve the problem.
Perfect. Thank you. Finally, Rubini.
Yeah, in my point of view, leadership means someone who respects the team members and also who leads them well. And along with the leading part, he must also learn to work with them accordingly and handle all the things. So that's what leadership is.
Perfect. So I would not ask Muhammad Sani Yahya to share your reflection, but I'll ask you something different. I'd ask you from the reflections that you have heard from our previous participants, do you see any pattern from their definitions? Is there anything that is similar to what they have said? Muhammad Sani? I can't hear you. You're on mute. Okay. I think Muhammad Sani is facing some difficulty. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Can you hear me? So
Yes,
from what they said, I think leadership is all about being creative, being able to plan, and be able to manage resources to achieve a goal, a particular goal.
Perfect. Thank you. So if I summarize the reflections that you have came to me, there are two patterns. One pattern followed that leadership is about a person who has to have certain mindset, certain skills. And another reflection or category of reflection was leadership is about having certain skills or qualities, right? So there is a challenge with these two concepts, that either thinking of leadership as a person or with some technical skills or qualities. The problem is when I ask the question, what is leadership? The 130 plus participants and delegates heard this question, but not all of them responded, because some of them started thinking, who is the right person to answer it? Or who has all the skills and qualities to answer this question, right? Because they started looking for an individual rather than focusing on what work needs to be done. And that is a common challenge that the entire world faces when they think of the word leadership. They focus on an individual or they focus on some skills or qualities. So first thing that they teach at Harvard Kennedy School is that leadership is not about a position. Because if you keep thinking that leadership is about having a formal title, having a formal authority, or having certain skills such as motivation, charisma, initiative, or having a team, then each and every one of you would start questioning that, am I the person to exercise leadership in this situation? Because do I have all these qualities? Do I have a formal position? Because that limits our thinking when we are trying to think about the word leadership. So what they say, that leadership is about action. It's not about who, it's about who is doing the work. It's about what skills you have. It's about how you are using those skills to move the work forward. So that is what they say about leadership at Harvard Kennedy School. And normally when we see a challenge, when we see a problem, we are always focusing on how to figure out in the shortest possible time, right? We're trying to figure out that what do we know about this problem so that we can solve it quickly. Can any one of you give an example of any challenges or any problems that we see in our world, in our community that is very prevalent? What kind of problems are we seeing around the world nowadays? Any example? What are the biggest challenges? Discrimination. Okay, that's one. Good. A few more. Climate change. Thank you, Sonu. Traffic. Economic. Perfect. So as we are all coming from a technical background, we are all IEEE members. I worked as an IEEE volunteer, then executive, and then I worked as a chair. And now I'm doing something different. What I realized in my journey as a professional, that the challenges that you're mentioning right now, discrimination, climate change, traffic, economic, all these challenges have a fix, that is a technical fix that can be solved by an expert. But every challenge, every problem cannot be solved by experts. Because let's say if we face discrimination in this room right now, if we prioritize one country over another, prioritize one gender over another, or one religion over another, the organizers can take some action, like keeping them into the waiting room, taking them out of the program, right? But do you think that would solve the problem of discrimination from this event? I don't think so. Because providing an expert solution not always solves the problem. Sometimes there is an adaptive challenge that needs to be fixed. So over there, we try to teach at Harvard Kennedy School, what they teach is that focus on the behavioral aspects of human being, like why you're working and how you're working. If you work on the behavioral aspects of all the individuals present, that is working on the adaptive challenge. So my advice to all the fresh graduates or the to-be graduates is, when you go into the workspace, you will see a lot of problems, a lot of challenges where you can solve it with your expertise, with your knowledge. But there will be some challenges where you would need to work with people, with human beings, and work on their adaptive challenges, their behavior, their mindset. In that, doing that, you can solve the challenges such as discrimination, such as climate change. And just few final advice for all the participants is that you don't have to focus on big progress, big life-changing solutions. Make small progress every day. Read one chapter, if not possible, one page, if not possible, one line every day. Learn something new, even if it's small. Make small progress every day so that you can make a bigger change in the future. Celebrate diversity, because today you're meeting people from so many different places. People always try to meet with people or engage with people who they can relate with. But then you cannot see the bigger picture of the world. Meet and engage with people who you don't agree with. Celebrate their differences, and that will give you the opportunity to exercise leadership. Build new networks. Today you have 130 plus graduates over here, participants from here. Connect with them. Connect with the speakers. Connect with the organizers. You never know when in the future you will be able to help them or seek support from them. So any chance you get, build new networks, because leadership cannot be exercised alone. And finally, stay connected to your purpose. Your life will bring you a lot of opportunities, a lot of challenges. But people either follow money, they either follow position, they either follow title. That's why, or that's when they will get deviated most of the time. But if you have a purpose that whatever you want to pursue, it's not about the position, it's about how you're making a difference in the world, how you are contributing, how you are adding value to someone else's life, then that purpose will keep you on your track. So as an IEEE member, you will face a bigger world, bigger challenges, but being a part of this huge network will always give you the upper hand. Because now I'm here as a speaker. At 10 years ago, I was there as a student. Today, I'm meeting you guys. And I don't know, maybe someday, some of you will be in a very good position in the world, and maybe I'll be seeking support from you. So being a part of this wonderful network will give you opportunity like no other. I would like you guys to take every chance to make this network count. Don't only focus on expertise, focus on the adaptive challenge that is being taught at Harvard. And if you would like to know more about this concept, do reach out to me over LinkedIn or email, whatever is convenient for you. So as the organizer said that I have a very short time, around 20 minutes, so I'll stop there. But if you have any questions, you can share it with the organizers, or if you have time, you can ask me right now. So I'll stop there, and thank you everyone for having me.
I think we can take 5 minutes questions since, I mean, if there's any questions, I think since we already allowed the participants to unmute, we just give 5 minutes session if there's any questions.
Perfect, thank you. I would love to hear some questions or reflections from what you have heard so far, because I think I have made a blender, a cocktail of everything that I've known in a very, concordant mixture. So yes, any questions or reflections from you on what you have heard? I'll start with Zanzia. You started the question. Do you have any reflections on what you have heard? Nicholas Wong? Okay, I think they're all contemplating. It's fine. I can share my LinkedIn account. So there you go. Yes, Harteng Jia, do you have any reflections on what you have heard so far? I think he's not being able to unmute.
Hello,
Yes,
can you
Nicholas, I
hear
can hear
me?
you. Yes.
Hi, I'm Nicholas here. So thanks for your sharing. So one thing I'm pondering is, you see a lot of all of these leadership schools all around the place, and certainly in the military in many countries, their seniors and officers are sent for leadership school, right? But I'm also wondering, how far can you actually teach leadership? And are there people who need to go through such training, or are there people who are natural leaders?
Perfect. Thanks. A wonderful question. So, Harteng Jia, because there is not much time, you can type your question. But I would like to answer Nicholas's question. Is when I was doing my executive education at Harvard, I had a colleague who once shared a very profound reflection. He said that I have been leading a company for 30 years. That is more than my actual age. That was more my actual age. So he was leading a company for 30 years, and he said that he never exercised leadership for a single day in his life because he has been always providing technical solutions, technical fixes, expertise that can be solved with his current know-how. But people, when start focusing on the expertise, they see the challenges that are prevalent in our nature that it cannot be solved with just what you know. So there are other concepts of leadership, but what they mostly try to do is try to see who is expert at solving a problem. But adaptive leadership tells you that anyone can exercise leadership as long as they're focusing on the behavioral or the adaptive side of the problem rather than the positional or the expertise that is required. Because people always focus on what position do I have or how much credibility do I have to solve this problem. But rather than thinking in that way, you can ask yourself, what can I do from my position right here, right now, to make progress on that problem? What will I do? What can I do to help that person change his mindset about discrimination, about climate change? So those are the things I think that helped me learn about leadership and that are helping a lot of other people learning about this adaptive leadership component. Yes, I think it's 7:30. I'd love to take Hortensia's question, but there is not enough time. But I think I would love to take that and answer that to you, over LinkedIn if we can connect. Thank you, Hortensia, and thank you to all the speakers organizers for having me.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Ashar, for the wonderful session. We have seen that most of the participants was interactive with the session. So we are really proud to have you today. Once again, thank you so much for joining us by dedicating your valuable time.
May I have a small request, just like 10 seconds?
Yes.
I would love to take a group picture or like a snapshot with all the participants if possible. Is it
Yes.
possible for the participants to just turn on your camera for just a few seconds?
Yes, we are about to take our group photo, so I invite you all to turn on your camera and join with the group photo. Can someone from the technical team confirm, are we ready to take the photograph?
Yes, Niranjana. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to count then. So guys, let's take the group photo. I think you all are ready. So 1, 2, 3, smile. Keep smiling. I think we have lots of slides to take pictures, so keep smiling, guys. Are we okay now?
I'm not able to turn on my video.
Okay. All right, I think we...
Yes, we did it.
Yes. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Once again, thank you so much, Almira, for joining us with the session today. It was really interactive and really interesting session. So today is the very first day of CLAP 2022, which we named as the Industry Day. Hope you all found today's event so much valuable and important. CLAP 22 is not a place that gives you only knowledge, but also gives you access to making new friends from all over Asia Pacific region. We know that you all have worked together with your cluster members in the past few days. We have seen that you guys were making new connections, making new friends, connecting with each other using several virtual platforms and trying to complete CLAP challenges within the very limited time you have. You were so much energized, enthusiastic, and engaging with everything. We have to give another big virtual round of applause for that too. So now I would like to invite Mr. Timothy Pereira, who is the program team lead of CLAP 22 for the team building and networking session. Over to you, Timothy, to take the floor.
Yes, thank you very much, Niranjana. Hope I am audible, right? Yeah, so I think I am audible. So thank you again, guys, for joining with us and being with us all this time. And now let's go for the activity 3 of CLAP challenge. It's time for the activity 3 of CLAP challenge. So I warmly welcome all of you again to the CLAP challenge activity 3. So here, of course, my program team member Min will explain to you about the activity and what you have to do today. So before that, I have to tell, as Niranjana mentioned, you guys have been very energetic during these times. Within a week, you prepared good content. We have got so many submissions for the CLAP challenge, and we saw that you have got many nice captures and uploaded it in your social media. So thank you very much for that. That was very enjoying to watch also. So keep up the good work, and I hope you will all get compete in the activity 3 as well with the same energy. So today, of course, we will be creating the breakout rooms for all of you to join. So before joining, we will present to you, we will give the instructions to the challenge, the activity 3. So I will invite Min to take over and present to you about the CAP challenge. Over to you, Min.
All right, thank you so much, teammates. And hi, good evening, everyone here, our dear delegates, and also our speakers, amazing speakers, and also our committee of the IEEE CLAP 2022. So for those who haven't seen me last week during the onboarding session, just want to introduce myself again. My name is Min, and I'm actually under the program team of IEEE CLAP 2022. Alongside working alongside with my teammate and also other committee members. So today, let me just present the screen. Yeah, can you see my screen?
I think yeah, we can see.
All right. So just want to know if you are ready for our clap challenge. Just type in the chat box and say, yes, I am ready. How many of you are excited? Okay, yes, I'm ready, Okay, great. Thanks for the very energetic. That's what we actually need from you guys after you already attend a long session of the speakers sharing just now. So let me just tell you what is our clap challenge activity 3, which is a surprise element for all of you. Activity 3 is called You Guess It, You Win It. So, okay. So how does it work? I'm pretty sure from the title itself, you can somehow guess it. Okay, maybe this is something to do with like, you need to guess the word, something like that. So, just want to clarify with you a bit of the rules here. You will be given a link to solve the puzzle. And the puzzle will consist of 20 questions which are related to our career development, industry, and academia, which is exactly why CLAP is being called, which is Career and Leadership Aid Program. So a little bit tips here, you may find the clues in our delegate handbook. So make sure you already have your delegate handbook on your hand. And if you don't have, just quickly discuss among your group and also make sure you have the handbook ready. And the third one is, every cluster will be given 30 minutes maximum or 35 minutes to be exact, because this includes a 5 minutes upload or submission and 30 minutes for you to solve our puzzle. And once the cluster members have managed to solve the puzzle, you may print the answers in the PDF form, and later I think you all can be accessed to a puzzle link that my team will be shared with all of you. And only one representative can be a cluster leader, can be anyone from the cluster. You have to submit your puzzle answer after your cluster has managed to solve it. And only one submission is accepted from every cluster. And which cluster submit the fastest with the highest number of correct answers will win this CLAP challenge activity 3. So let me know if you are ready, then you can actually start joining the breakout rooms. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I mean, let's share the link first, then let the participants join the breakout rooms, right? So,
yeah, I think
yes.
Our committee member here, and has shared the link. So the link to the puzzle is bit.ly/clap22 puzzle. And if you have any problems to open the puzzle, please let us know so we can actually assist you.
And of course, we have sent you an email with the links to the puzzle as well as the Google form. So what you have to do is just go to the puzzle platform and fill it up. And like you just have to submit it to the Google form. Yeah, I'll put the puzzle link again. Yeah. So guys, you can join the breakout rooms now and start filling up. So I think when we are ready to go for the countdown. So you have exactly 35 minutes. Join the breakout rooms and solve the puzzle and upload it. We will be tracking you.
The link isn't working.
No, the link is working fine, right? Yeah, let's start the countdown.
Okay. So I would like to say the clap challenge for Activity 3 will start from now. All right. So you guys may join every of your breakout rooms for your clusters to discuss among yourself. And once you all get the answers, please ready to submit right to the Google.
So come on, guys, you can join the breakout rooms now and start filling out the puzzle.
I think most of the participants have asked about the access to share their screen inside the breakout rooms.
Yeah. Right, now we have given permissions. Under the breakout rooms function, you can you might see your cluster breakout room and just join there. So if you can't join, just tell me your cluster number, then I'll assign you to it.
For those who are still inside this main room, please join your cluster breakout room as soon as possible so that you all can discuss and find out the answers.
I think Hartanchia, I think you got a message saying to join a breakout room, right? Yeah, join that. Join the breakout room there. Can't get in. I think the problem is from your side because we work on that. Has happened. Can you unmute yourself and tell us the problem? Maybe we can help you. So guys, if you have not yet joined the breakout rooms, please join and join with your team to win the chat challenge.
Please go to
Yeah, guys, so only 2 minutes left. Yes, so let's close the breakout rooms. Yeah, it's initiated. In 1 minute, they will be joined back. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes.
Sir, I'm not able to print with the answers. How should I do that?
So in there, you can see that there's a print button.
Sir?
Did you receive before the email?
1 second.
I keep the form open, but
I can't hear you. Hello.
hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, tell me. Sir.
Yeah. So in there, there's a print button.
I'm
Right
hearing
on
your
top of the
voice
button.
twice. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think your time is up. So
Yeah. How should I print, sir?
maybe let someone print it. Maybe right. Yeah. So I think the breakout rooms has been closed. So you can put, if you couldn't upload, you can put the PDF in the WhatsApp group of your cluster. So just put it there. We'll check on the time that you have put it and maybe try to give you marks. So thank you very much, guys, for joining and having this great time. And I hope you enjoyed and had a good network, built up your network with your friends as well. So thank you again. So the winners will be announced later tomorrow. So of course, join tomorrow and see what you have done. We'll be having a showcase. So thank you very much again. So over to you, the MCs.
Timid, maybe they can take a screenshot here if they cannot generate the PDF.
Yeah. Yes, so you can take a screenshot and maybe upload it to the Google form. I'll keep it open for like 5 minutes. Yes, just upload a screenshot. Yeah, thank you very much. So over to you, MCs.
Thank you so much, Timid and the dear delegates, for your wonderful and active participation. All good things must come to an end, but this isn't always necessary, right? So after spending more than 3 hours of extensive knowledge sharing sessions and panel discussions, I hope we all noted a number of things to work on ourselves and implement in order to develop our professional career. The day one of CLAP 2022 composed the industry day, and now we have reached towards the very end of our first day. We have more goodness and fun prepared for our lovely delegates scheduled for tomorrow. So let's have once on stage our secretary team member Hamimul Haq Rahat to share his vote of thanks and conclude day one. Rahat, over to you.
Thank you, Maisha, for the wonderful intro. A very good evening to our distinguished speakers and guests, our esteemed delegates, and the whole organizing committee of CLAP 2022. On behalf of the organizing committee, I want to thank each and every one of this program participating right now for making this day a success. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished guests and session speakers, as well as the panel discussion speakers and the moderator who contributed and supported us throughout the program of CLAP this year. A virtual round of applause and thanks to all the participants and delegates who made the day one of CLAP an interactive and a fruitful one. Sincere thanks to all the members of the organizing committee of CLAP 2022, the people who worked tirelessly and effortlessly to make this event happen successfully, working tirelessly throughout the entire process. A sincere thank you to all of you for your efforts and valuable time. Once again, I'd like to thank you all present here for making the time to be here with us today and helping us to make this event a grand success. Thank you one and all. See you all in the day 2 program of CLAP 2022, which is our Academia Day, happening tomorrow from 18:30 SGT onwards. Have a very good night. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Rahat. And thank you, everyone. This concludes our day one. Hope to see you all tomorrow.
Thank you.